Guys, gals, non-binary pals, welcome to a very special edition of the No Limit Wrestling Show. As in this one, we won't be watching a show. We will be previewing New Japan Pro Wrestling G1 Climax 35. As always, I'm joined by Dylan. Dylan, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. I'm doing a little bit better now that Taichi's in the tournament. Um, though I am gonna miss Goto, who's been like my favorite G1 wrestler for a decade now. Um, but yeah, I'm doing all right. Chilling, excited to talk about New Japan with you, buddy. Obviously, we both love New Japan.
You actually do love New
I
Japan.
sometimes
I would be okay if this company folded.
I did see oh man, I think Ibu said they should sign Katsuhiko Nakajima,
Oh my
and
God.
then Peps was
Nakajima in
like,
this locker room.
yeah,
This is incredible.
That company would die immediately. I was like, I'm willing to make that sacrifice. Like, I'm cool.
I
Like,
am actually very curious. Listen, I think Nakajima would have a good run.
yeah,
Okay. Now, would he be liked by the end of this run? No, probably not by people in the company. But I'm willing to run this experiment, and let's just see what happens. But
get him
this
out
is
of the
my
G.
this is the first G1 Climax I want to say I previewed. I may have talked about G1 briefly before in past ventures, but this is the first time I'm reviewing G1. Um, we talked about doing this earlier in the year, and then it just lined up that we had nothing going on. It's like, oh, we should just preview the G1, and if all goes well, we will preview the N1 because I have something going on with that. But basically the goal for this is we're just going to preview and talk about G1. The plan is to go block by block. Talk about the entrance, the block itself. Um, Maybe give a few of our matches we're looking forward to from the block and our overall thoughts on the selection, as far as the selection of the participants, because I'll tell you what, I have a lot to say. Um, which I just want to preference beforehand before we get into any of this. New Japan fans, I just want you to understand. Dylan like part-time watches New Japan. I don't actually like New Japan. I like some of the wrestlers in it and I will root for them, but I actually hate this company with everything. So please just take everything I say with a grain of salt. um, but basically, just give a few matches we're looking forward to, and just talk about things in depth. I do have all the main events for the entire tour, as well as the amount of main events people have as far as within the tournament, via both Ash and Peps. They both posted them. So, both Ash posted all the main events, and then Peps posted the amount of main events. So I have those bookmarked and saved to bring up. And then I asked for some questions. We're going to talk about those questions at the very end of things. And basically just give our overall thoughts on this year's tournament and what we hope from it. It's been, before we get into the first block, I just want to say it's been a tumultuous year in New Japan. Um, they love shooting themselves in the own foot, specifically one bearded guy and his booking team. Love shooting themselves in the foot repeatedly. Um, and boy, have they done that so much this year. It's actually been incredible. I just want to give a big shouts out to Hiroki Goto. I mean, we're going to talk about him when we talk about this A block, but big shouts out to him because he gave this company hope for a little bit. Now I don't have hope for this company. So, hey, listen. Thank you for your service, Gato, because this opens up the Tokyo Sports MVP for a real rebel. Okay, so thank you for fumbling the bag.
It also opens it up for the Psy Queen, and you know, I don't really love that.
Hey, I'm okay with that. Anybody but New
I do
Japan
like
wrestlers
women.
okay with that.
I am a fan of women's wrestling.
Realistically, if there was ever a year for a woman to win it, it'd be this year, just
Yeah,
because
women's wrestling's hotter in Japan than
yeah,
male wrestling.
women's wrestling's hotter. New Japan doesn't have a clear candidate because they decided to cut Goto like immediately. And Tokyo Sports is so Bushiroad pilled, they will not give this award to a Noah wrestler. So this is like the perfect year for Saya to win it. Like perfect chance. So they're definitely not going to do it. So Yoda Tsuji's going to win the MVP, and
Oh yeah.
especially if he wins this tournament, like I think he will. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the first block. We got the A block. You can go ahead and put up that graphic. Basically they went back to the 10 and 10 They did this last year, but they did the play-in a little bit different. Last year's play-in was a lot more entertaining. You had a lot more
Yeah, I was
people
gonna say I
involved.
last year's play, and I actually quite like. I didn't watch all the matches, obviously, because some of
Yeah.
them were stinkers, but I
Um,
did think it was a more interesting way of doing it.
Everybody
I
actually
love
got
playing
chances.
tournaments. I love
Yeah.
playing tournaments in general. I was talking about it with somebody, I forget who, legitimately, that the widescreen, that's who it was, former guest widescreen, about how Stardom back in the day did a big play-in tournament in
Yeah.
2022, and I really liked that. You know what I mean? Because it allowed everybody to kind of get the reps, but it also didn't put everybody in the
Well,
tournament.
last year's was different. I liked it because it was just the bets, basically, and then like
Oh yeah,
Bolton earning
yeah.
his way in.
Oh yeah, I mean Bolton's run last year was
Yeah.
kind of like his run in the plan into the tournament.
I mean, Callum Newman technically also earned his way in, but he was like terrible that whole play in. It was just like
Yeah,
him beating people better than him every single round.
yeah, because that was the thing too, is that it's like Callum and this is kind of an immediate divergence, but this is a match we will talk. We'll have to, well, maybe not have to talk about, but a match in the tournament this year. Bolton and Callum last year, very interesting people to get in because, like, that was the
Super,
first
super
time.
green.
Yeah,
Like
first,
Bolton was super green in singles, but he like got better as the tournament progressed.
yes, but also the thing that I was going to mention is that it's like it was the first time a lot of people would be kind of seeing them in a New Japan ring
Yeah.
for I mean in general. I think I don't know Callum. I don't think he really did much in the UK before he got there.
No, I don't think
Um,
so.
so it's like this was the first time that people were like really exposed to them, and like the difference in just vibe last year, throughout the tournament in general, between Bolton and Callum were
Yeah.
very different. Unfortunately, one of them has gotten a world title shot, and one of them has not. Uh, don't know how that happened,
Great bit, buddy.
but
Great bit.
yeah, I mean,
Uh,
like
you know, before we prolong this situation, this situation, if you will, since they're in the A block, let me just go ahead and read off the A block
mm,
names. But well, before I do that, I just want to make a point about last year's tournament. I like last year's because you got a lot more variety. This year they didn't do a lot of play-in matches. I preferred last year's
yeah,
format, mostly because my favorite wrestler got to play in, but also because I just like the idea that you were getting people who don't have singles matches in singles matches. Um, and they tried to give Don Fale a singles match in the year of 2025, and the gods immediately punished them for that. But anyway, we'll go ahead and get to the A block first before I get mad. um, in his last ever G1, Hiroshi Tanahashi, which I cannot wait to talk about Tanahashi's G1 because
yeah.
God. Tai Chi, who is subbing in for Hiroki Goto, who lost the original play in to Callum Newman, who is in this tournament. But they had a second chance gauntlet once Goto was confirmed out for injury, and Taichi made it in. Yu Uemura, who's making his second ever appearance, who got injured during last year's tournament. He could have made a run to the final last year.
He was like outside of Takeshita probably the most interesting guy last year. Like
Oh,
he had
for
probably the
sure.
best tournament
He
overall.
I think he's been good since he's gotten back. But that run last year, I don't think he'll ever reach that ever again unless it's like years down the line.
I think he can. I just wonder if they
Like I
could.
said, if it's years down the line, I can see it, but
I feel like they were just
I
like,
think that run was just so special that he just doesn't have that magic right now. It could happen in
mm,
the future, but we'll leave open conversations till I'm done reading the block. We have the never openweight champion Bolton Oleg. I should mention Taichi's one half of the IWGP Tag Champions. Those don't really matter to New Japan, but they matter to me, so I will mention it. Yoda Tsuji. Ryohei Oyo was making his G1 debut. He was in the N1. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. It was last year. It was last year. I'm
last year.
sorry.
Last year.
Callum Newman, who's making the second appearance, he is the only person who has won two play-ins to get into the
Yep.
G1. Um, I hope they make him do another one next year. Just commit to the bit. um, David Finley, and then rounding out the block, we have House of Tortures Evil and House of Tortures Sonata. Um, I was super excited with Hiroki Goto in this block in the original form, other than Callum, obviously, because I don't. I'm not a believer in Callum, and I'm not a believer in Yoda Suji, but I think it's impossible for Yoda to have bad matches. Well, him
It'll be
and
hard.
Yuya is probably going to be bad again. They have like awful chemistry, but I think Suji is going to have good matches with everybody else, because I've seen him have good matches with Finley. I've seen him have good matches with Evil. I think him and Bolton can do something fun. I think Taichi will bring something out of him. But I was super excited for Goto for that very reason, because, I mean, spoiling a second at the end, but I think Tsuji is the man to win it. And I was excited with Goto originally in it because Goto is like by far his best opponent.
Yeah.
And I think, as much as I love Taichi, like Taichi's one of my favorite wrestlers, I think this tournament takes a drastic hit without the emotional connection of Hiroki Goto. And this is the best way I can say it without offending people. Taichi's great. Goto's phenomenal. And I think that's really it in that form. I think Goto's year has just been so tremendous that it was just going to be impossible for him to have a bad match this entire tournament. They entrusted in him to do a lot this year, and he did that. And I think him being out of it is bad, but I do think things could have been a whole lot worse. Obviously, I think they are so lucky that they had Taichi waiting in the back burner.
Yeah.
I know we are all the same. We are like, why is Taichi not in this tournament? When truth of the matter is, he probably just didn't want to be in it. Yoshihashi did nothing like this entire year, and he got in it.
He's probably making more money doing Twitch streams or YouTube streams.
Yeah. Truthfully, he just probably didn't want to be in it. That's just like, I know nothing, but that's what I would have to suspect. But obviously, when called upon, he was not going to turn it down. And he's going to get a G1 main event with Tanahashi and Sapporo, so that he's going to get his big Tanahashi win before, on this retirement road. But I do think Taichi does add a fun wrinkle to this because he has history with everybody in this. Obviously, he's going to have Tanahashi and Sapporo. I believe Tanahashi was his first New Japan Cup match, because Taichi's first heavyweight match was Naito, and then he went to the New Japan Cup and he faced Tanahashi, and he hit him with a Kawada, the Gonzo bomb. He hit him with the Gonzo bomb. I love that match so much. Obviously, the connection with Yuya, they were just 3, and now they're just 2 guys in Hontai. Bolton Oleg, also another Hontai guy. Yeah. Which, I mean, hey, he could only steal checks for so much longer. Yeah. Okay, like, it was about time they looked at him as like, bro, what do you?
I mean, to be fair, I was making the joke that it's like Taka Michinoku in New Japan Pro Wrestling's Hontai, and I think eventually they were like, wait, why is Taka in?
Yeah, I was like, bro, he's not needed. Like I mean, he could only steal checks.
If he isn't Taichi's pin guy.
Yeah,
if he isn't Taichi's pin guy, if Taichi's pin now, what are we doing?
Yeah. If Taichi's the pin guy now, what do we do with the pin guy's pin guy? Is basically what we're saying. But obviously, I think him and Tsuji's interesting. Obviously, the Oiwa Zack connection, that'll be fun. Him and Callum have become fierce rivals, which I know you love. I am so happy
honestly,
for you, my friend.
As the sole Callum Newman match I'm excited to see is Taichi versus Callum, because I was like, you know what? Taichi might get his win back.
Yeah.
They have decent chemistry. Yeah. Like, I don't like Callum's matches for the most part, but him and Taichi.
I thought the tag match, the Black Saints tag title match was good.
Yeah, I think they have enough, just something to dig into.
Maybe that's Callum's destiny, is he's a good tag guy because he can't get exposed in that setting.
Probably.
But him and Callum are in there, and him and Finley had a really good global title match last year. Him and Hill Sonata have not had a good match, but Hill Sonata has not been allowed to work since that first Yuya match. That was his outing where it's like, okay, he's going to be fine as a heel, and they just never let him do that again.
Yeah, I think when it comes to, I mean, I said it with, I think the thing about Taichi in this tournament is that you look at the 2 weakest, realistically weakest from a work rate perspective, people in this tournament, it's Callum and Sonata. And I think Taichi will get the best matches out of both of them, out of the entire block.
Yeah. I think it'll be Yuya or Tana with Sonata, because I think Sonata, for the wear and tear his body has went on, he's going to have to go more of the Muto grappling route, which he is very good at. That's why I love that first Yuya heel match so much, is because he strictly stayed grounded and he just worked more like Muto would when he succumbed to all those injuries and, focused on the grappling aspect and other things where he didn't have to, be this athletic freak of nature. And he's very good at that. He's got the IQ to do that. It's just a matter of if he'll keep that up this entire tournament. like my biggest fear is he's in the Yano role where he's there to do some comedy and then like get a sneaky roll up here and there.
Yeah, just comedy heel
I
type. That's and I think
listen.
in that role,
Mhm,
Taichi would get the best out of him. But if Sonata's got his working boots on, yeah, I think a Yu
yeah,
match should be very good.
yeah. And he's probably going to beat Yu, so I expect him to have his working boots on because like Yu's beat him twice, so I think this is where
Mm.
he's destined to beat him. And Sonata or not Sonata and Evil, Taichi and Evil haven't had a match since like Evil was still trying to figure out what he was supposed to do as a heel during that one G1 where Chase and Evil went like 24 minutes or something. And I was just like,
That's why I
why do
stopped
y'all
watching.
watch?
I was
I
not
was,
watching at that time.
I was like, why do y'all watch this? Like, listen, all love to the big man, but 24 minutes of Chase Owens is crazy. Like, I just can't do it.
Mm.
It's fascinating because Evil's typically a high scorer in G1, but he doesn't have any main events this year, which I think is all cause for this company to shut down immediately. In my
I
book,
think he
there's
probably sneaks in though. He probably still sneaks into the
playoffs,
yeah.
maybe. I still think he still hovers at the top because he's still very protect. Like
Mm.
Evil by the stats is like a top 5 tournament wrestler in all of New Japan. He always finishes well in tournaments. That's just what he does.
Yeah.
Um, that's fine. Me, I love Evil. Um,
This is a hard block to get points in though. I
yeah,
will say that.
yeah.
I'm
That's what
looking
I
at it
was.
now, and like
The
this is
the thing
obviously
with
the young
this,
guy block, and
they
all the young guys are
they
trying to come
they
up.
said screw balancing good wrestlers in this tournament because
Yeah.
this in B block is day and night
Oh,
because
100%.
the young guys in here like Bolton, Yuya, and Suji, and Oiwa and Newman, they can't fail with the cast of veterans they have. Um, listen, I'll get in my I'll get into my Hey Joe T rant now before I get into my Narita rant later. I understand that Western New Japan fans
You're
that are
banging on your
brainwashed,
damn table.
yeah, that are brainwashed by Chris Charlton and engagement farmers on Twitter, and AEW fans who just tune into New Japan big shows and don't watch House of Torture, hate House of Torture, and that's fine with me. I don't care. I really don't care about your opinion. It could mean shit to me. Listen, but what I don't like is hypocrites. Y'all are not watching these people's matches. Y'all are not seeing the work they put in on house shows. House of Torture is the best faction in this company by pure faction work alone because they work like a unit. They added Chase and Fale and that ruined a lot, but when it's just the Japanese members, they're like a machine. They work the leg. They are so fun to watch on house shows because they actually have a style and they're like, okay, we're gonna work together. And that's why I hate the fact that they added all these foreigners because like it ruins the camaraderie of the group and how like flawlessly they work together. I understand. Yeah, like I understand y'all don't like them. I just don't like the hypocrites because y'all are not watching these people. Why are y'all okay? Y'all are not watching them, but you're like, oh my god, they are killing the company. Y'all don't watch them. Like you just don't. And like I think that's hypocritical. I hate Zack Sabre Jr. and Gabe Kidd in El Fantasmo, and I openly admit I don't watch them. And when I do watch them, it makes me angry. And you know when I watch them because I have 10 things to dissect from their matches that I don't like. Okay, but with that being said, Evil and Sonata are fantastic veterans for these young guys to have in this block. That's like they have the best crop of vets to work with in this with Finley, Evil, Sonata, Taichi, and Tana. That all these young guys in A block absolutely can't fail. If they fail, it's due to their own ability because
Yeah.
these vets will try their hardest to make them look good. You looking at guys like Evil and Sonata, they're not winning, so they will do their best to use their star power, their fanfare as far as being heels to try to make them look good. If they are willing to play ball. Taichi doesn't have an off switch. He's going to try his best to make whoever he's facing look good. Same thing with Finley and Tana in his last one. He's going to go all out, and he has 5 main events across this entire tour.
Yeah. Who would you
5.
think he main eventing against?
Um.
Newman.
Okay. I will read the G1 main events right now to save us time as far as instead of reading both blocks and then saying all the main events. I'll read them all off to you right now. So G1 main events, according to my boy Ash, I assume this is in order by night basis. just because the opening night I believe is Sapporo. But Taichi Tanahashi, Zach Gabe, Yuya Tsuji, Shota Zach, Finley Tanahashi, Shingo Takeshita, Tanahashi Oiwa, Zach Takeshita, Tanahashi Yuya, Zach Okan, Tanahashi Tsuji, Shingo Zach, Finley Tsuji, Shota Takeshita. So Tana's not main eventing against the House of Torture guys because they don't have a main event. Newman and I believe Bolton. I don't think Bolton doesn't have any main events, which I think is ridiculous.
That's a shame. I think Bolton should have gotten a main event, at least one. Like he didn't need.
Oh, buddy,
multiple,
I am offended by Bolton not having a main event as I'm reading this, but I'm even more offended by somebody else not having a main event. We'll get to that later. But this is, like I said, Tanahashi has 5 main events. That is a lot to ask from Tanahashi, but also it's so authentically Tanahashi. I don't think he would have had it any other way.
Yeah, and
Like,
I think it should be a good run for him because I
Yeah.
think all these guys, maybe not know how to do a Tanahashi match, but I think a lot of these guys you just kind of like can see the vision
if
there.
you look at the veterans in this block, same thing with the young guys. These are all guys. Goto was in this, but I still think Tana probably feels the same way about Taichi. Those were all veterans in this block that Tanahashi trusts to take care of him.
Exactly.
Eva was able to do it at the Dome. Sonata has done it multiple times. Him and Sonata usually just go straight to Mutoisms and grappling. Like they don't do.
I've always
stuff.
loved Tana versus Sonata matches,
Yeah.
even like back in the day.
Yeah, like these were veterans not only here for the youth but also to aid Tana because he can preserve his body against those guys. So it's going to be interesting to see how his body holds up because those main events, a lot of them are against like the younger guys and Finley. So he's going to have to bring it. And,
I think Tana versus Finley sounds like a really fun main event.
Yeah, I think that'll be good.
Yeah.
I fear for Tana with the young guys just because I don't know if they'll have the ability to make up for what he can't. I saw Oiwa and Tana have some good spots in the Kaito and Mark Fuji tag. So I do have faith for that. Because
Tana and Yuya, for their credit, just had a singles match a couple weeks ago. Ended in like 6 minutes.
It was
just out of
getting
nowhere.
good as it ended. So promise is there.
Had a great foundation. I expect that to be good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, like when looking like
zooming
out a little bit.
I think Tsuji versus Tanahashi is going to be really bad. I think it's going to be absurdly bad.
I think it could be. I think it has a low floor.
Here's my issue with you.
I think Tsuji in general has a low floor. I think that's the thing. I've seen Tsuji have great matches.
Me and you are in the same boat. This is why I could see myself doing this preview because me and you are on the same wavelength when it comes to Yota Tsuji. I am in love with the idea of Yota Tsuji. I would love if he was this hybrid lucha strong style guy. There was like this new generation star that had these classic matches. I mean, he looks like a star. I'll give him that. I love the idea of Yota Tsuji, but Yota Tsuji actually, I don't love it. I really don't. I think Yota Tsuji is terrible in singles matches if he doesn't have a veteran there to guide him. Because I'll give David Finley his credit right now. He tricked me. Tokyo Dome, he tricked me. I watched that Tsuji match and I was like, God damn, Yota's finally here. He's here. I've been waiting on him. He's finally here. And then the rest of the year happened.
Yeah, I haven't. If you ask me what Tsuji match I've liked this year outside of the Finley one, I couldn't tell you. Last year, I think a similar story. Like I liked the Goto one for the cup. That was a great match.
Goto is like the safest bet when it comes to Tsuji. You can always count on Goto. And
Tsuji not having him in this tournament is concerning. I thought Tsuji had a really good G1 last year. I think that's important to mention. I think Tsuji had a really good G1. His best match against Yuya ever. That's
their only good match to me. I think all the ones they've had outside of that are been bad.
Not to be a fucking nerd, but they had some good young lion matches against each other.
No, I'm talking about now.
I know.
It's very easy to have a good young lion match, especially when you've done that match so many times.
And that was the thing, I think, is that they're one of my favorite all-time young lion pairings because they just always clicked against each other. And I think that's why the office is probably just like, why doesn't this work? Like we're just gonna make it work. It's it's very similar to Izumi and Kid, if I'm being honest. I think Izumi and Kid as kids were great against each other. And I think we have approached diminishing returns with them in Stardom. in a similar way that I think Yuya and Suji have sort of just like not been able to keep heightening
I
their abilities against each other.
I think it's very different with them because New Japan is dead set on making this pairing work.
Yeah.
At least in Stardom, Kid very much is the star between those two, and
Is
the
it
company has
possible
showed
that we just really, really want Uemura to be the star, and they've obviously already picked Suji?
that is possible, but I just think they are terrible together. Like I don't know what it is; it just doesn't click. The G1 last year, like it clicked. A lot of people probably are more friendly on their matches than I am, but I think last year's G1 was their best outing by
Oh, that
far.
was really good.
And
Yeah.
unfortunately for them, I can't give them that credit as this can work because that was during the summer of Yuya, baby, and he was probably the best wrestler in the world for like a couple weeks span. like like he was unreal. So like I hope they can capture that same magic with the G1 atmosphere. It's just I don't have high hopes for this. Um, the two people in this block though that I am most excited for, my two guys of this generation, Ryohei Oiwa and Bolton Oleg, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, Oleg's fascinating because, and once again, I hate to be that guy that has to give House of Torture their credit, but none
Wait,
of
no.
y'all are gonna do it, so I gotta do it. I gotta do it. Bolton, I was talking with Ash, and he brought up a very good point where Bolton feels like the most made young guy outside of Yoda Suji, and it's fascinating because they brought him along slowly, very very slowly. Like he was working six mans with Tana and Yano, and basically House of Torture's job for the entirety of last year was just to make Bolton Oleg look good. That's literally was their job the entire year of last year. And then he got into G1, and he was really green in the G1, but he got better over time. And then he had the Takeshita title match earlier this year, and he really came into his own this year. And he feels like he's made. He's never openweight champion right now. Like that Takeshita series was unreal. Bolton feels like the second most made guy after Suji. Like for me, I think that's very fitting because to me he's the second best young guy out of this group just because I love everything about him. And he's gonna benefit him and Oiwa. Like I said, those are my two guys. They are gonna benefit tremendously by Aaron Wolf signing, just because they can do the amateur stuff with him on the
Yeah.
on the ground. Like those are probably the two biggest benefactors from this new generation. As far as with his signing, is because they have that background. Um, Yuya and Narita also will be fine because they also have that background, and I think Suji can try his best, but those two are really the biggest benefactors from that. Um, and I'm excited to see them in a singles match. I don't think they've had a singles since Oiwa's gotten back from Noah. Um, people can fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure they didn't. All Oiwa has done is like lost to top stars, so I don't think they've had a single since then. So I'm fascinated to see what that looks like. But Bolton, I think he's going to have a really fun tournament. Him and Taichi last year was good. I think it'll be even better this year. It's first chance to see him and Yuya together. I think him and Suji should be interesting. I think the dynamic might be a little awkward, but it should be fun. I'm very excited to see Bolton versus Finley. I really want to see what that looks like. And as for Oiwa, this is my guy, obviously, by far, who I think is the most talented guy of the entire New Japan generation. He's like the only one of the New Japan new generation that I think legit has like an all-time great ceiling. I don't think the others really have that. He's just tremendous. I don't think, and I don't want to be a Noah elitist or anything, but I don't think New Japan fans actually understand how good Ryohei Oiwa is.
Oh no, for sure not. Because
Like,
like the thing is, if you watch all of his New
and
Japan
to their
stuff,
credit,
it's nothing like the
I don't
Noah stuff.
think booking has done him any favors since he's got back.
No.
But like you did watch his Noah run, so like you understand. I don't think people understand how good he actually is.
I mean, if people remember, even if you don't follow Noah as much, um, if you'll remember, there were a lot of Noah fans, including me and Xavi, who were like, "Let's just let him stay,"
Yeah,
because
I
like
was
like
dog,
he
he
was
can't go
so
back.
like Oiwa was in the position where it's like if they put the belt on him and he was like, "I'm staying in Noah," it would make like it would have been like, "Yeah, no, that was the
It
correct
would have
option."
been a win for everybody, but a loss for New Japan because he's
Yeah,
such a good wrestler.
yeah, and so and that was that was his run in Noah, and obviously the Kaito tag run as well. I was also like, give them the tag belts, bro. Like,
Yeah,
what are we doing here? Um,
Obviously,
And
they
I
played it
feel
safe
like
there.
that motherfucker got food.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
but I think that Ryohei Oiwa has taken like a step back since coming into New Japan, and I don't think people are really recognizing like the level of talent he has. And I think part of that is that The Office doesn't.
Yeah,
Um, he was immediately paired with Hartley, who I love. I love Hartley Jackson,
they
but
weren't properly paired though. I
that's the
wish they
thing.
would have did a tag
They
run.
didn't really like that was so clearly TMDK's like sixth team. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, and it's like they're both
yeah,
really
man.
good. They're both really good, and proper TMDK hasn't been around this year, so I don't know why they
Buddy,
haven't been.
I highly doubt they're ever coming back.
That's what I mean. So I don't really know why they haven't been like, okay, well, this is your what we're gonna give you
Yeah, just
is
go
you
get the tag
versus
titles and have fun.
you and Hartley as a team, because in its place they just haven't really done anything with him. Hasn't really looked great in most of his matches. I think the Takeshita match was a bit of a letdown, even though it was still very good. Knowing how good Oiwa can be,
Hmm.
that was a bit of a underwhelming one, and I'm really hoping that this G1 kind of gets to show like what Oiwa is on the level of his N1 last year, because he was like one of the best wrestlers in the N1 last year. The N1 was good last year,
Yeah.
so that's saying something. And that's just kind of what I'm wanting from Oiwa. As for Bolton, similar to you, I just feel like this guy's a total beast that can be a stylistic problem with some people. Like you kind of said, Yoda Tsuji, I'm not
Hmm.
super confident about, but also they can be explosive against each other.
Hmm.
Like it could just be them kind of just being kind of crazy bastards, if you will.
Hmm.
Um, so I am excited for Bolton's tournament. I am excited for Yuya's tournament. I think you mentioned Bolton and Ryohei are your two. Mine has always been Yuya Uemura. I watched his debut, like the hour that the VOD came out
Hmm.
from Lions Break back in the day, and I was just such a big fan from that point on. And similarly, I'm kind of looking for more from Yuya in
Hmm.
this tournament because I saw what he could do last tournament, and I really hope that he can kind of prove that he's deserving of that push that is clearly kind of being passed over for. Right now, you kind of have to question if it's because he's looked at as like the Tanahashi successor
I
and
would,
Tana's still here,
if
so
they
you can't
can't
really
get
succeed him
Nakamura,
yet.
if they can't get Nakamura, I think he is just a retirement match, just
I could see it.
because
I can
they would
see.
split 1-1 in this
Yeah, I
tournament.
could see it being a rubber. I could see it being a
Yeah.
rubber match because Yu's going to beat Tana since Tana just beat him a couple weeks ago. Um, but yeah, I mean, and you look at this tournament, Yuya has a lot of places to do well. Him versus Taichi, I am excited for, even though I feel like I remember them not having the greatest chemistry last time that they paired off against each other. But I don't really, like I expect a good match out of those two. I'm super excited for him versus Finley. Super excited to see re- see Oiwa mix it up with the young guys, quote unquote, because he
Hmm.
hasn't really gotten to yet. I mean, we've seen Yuya versus Suji like 17 million times just
So,
since
buddy.
Excursion. I
Yeah.
mean, we've seen Ren versus Suji a lot. We've seen Ren versus Shota a lot. We're gonna have to talk about that in a bit. We've seen these matches a lot. We haven't seen Ryohei Oiwa in the conversation with these matches. So I'm super excited to see that.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for this block. Like, quite frankly, I think we're gonna get moving
It's one of
into
the best
the-
G1 blocks in a like long time.
see, and that's what I was gonna say. If Callum can show up even a little bit, I think this is like far and away one of the best G1 blocks in a long time because he's the only one that like I don't trust at all. You know what I mean? Like Sonata is, he might be put into a position where he's not going to be producing very well.
Yeah, it just
And
depends.
like you
Sonata's
said,
very
Evil.
much, he's proven in the past that he's very much, hey, if you have nothing for me, I have even less for you.
Yeah, exactly. So
Like
it's like
he's proven that.
at most we're gonna get apathetic Sonata, which is pretty shit. I'm
Hmm.
not gonna lie, but like
I
I
hope he
still
does
like
the
the guy,
I hope he does the neck crank. That'd be sick.
dude. Actually, it's a neck crank. I don't know if you know that. After 10 years of it being his finish and nobody understanding it, actually, it's a neck crank. Thanks, Chris. I like Evil. I do sometimes experience fatigue with Evil in tournaments,
He
but like
doesn't have
last
any main
year's,
events, so I think he's gonna be
that's what I
fine.
mean. Last year's Evil was a lot of fun. Like I really liked his G1. I thought he was a really funny and like uh, you know, a charming presence in it. We'll see if that is how they go with it this year. Because some years, now I don't know if you'll agree with
Evil
this. Some years
was one of the
they
best
do. Oh,
wrestlers all year for like the first half of the year,
yeah,
and then Dominion came and they said, "How about you stop?"
that's what I mean. Is that it's like uh, Evil knows what he's doing,
Yeah.
but sometimes it is done too much. Like, and you,
Other than
funnily enough,
Tanahashi, and listen, this might be glazed, but so what? Die. Um, Other than Tanahashi, Evil's the smartest guy in this block, like by far. Wrestling IQ wise, he's the smartest. He knows what to do. It's just a matter of what his tournament will look like because he doesn't have to do any main events. He's probably going to be playing a lot of spoiler. It's just what will they allow him to do this year in comparison to last year because you have both him and Sonata in this block, so you can't really do too much cheating because they're both in the same block.
yeah, and that's the thing with Evil is that it's like it really does depend because if you kind of let him be, like I'm a fan of Comedy House of Torture. Doesn't come out that much, but it does sometimes, and I love it. I think the crew's comedic timing is pretty impeccable,
They
and I
are legitimately always trying to pop themselves, and it's
that's what I
incredible.
mean. It's so funny. Like Evil is one of the funniest wrestlers of all time. We watched the Oku match together this year for WrestleMania weekend, and
He put in a shift
he was
versus
just
Michael
hanging
Oku.
out. He was like, "Oh, these fuckers love me, bro. Like I'm here to put on a show." And then
Yeah,
he won with the fucking Scorpion Deathlock. Like that is the real. Like
yeah,
I
man.
do really like Evil, and I do think his tournaments can be fun. Like
Yeah,
I said, really liked him last year. But I've also seen Evil be put into a position where he has to be like really hard to watch
yeah,
in tournaments because it just keeps going. You know, I mean, you have
yeah.
9 matches here, and sometimes Evil's being creative and they let him kind of just like do his thing, and sometimes it's very clear that it's like, okay, you need to be like firing squad era fucking Bullet Club, where
Yeah.
it's just like kind of shit, and then the finish is a DQ, and then it's just like nothing matters. So I'm hoping for the former here with
Yeah.
Evil. I do like Evil, and I am excited for Evil versus Sonata. I think that has
This is
real
going to be the match of the year.
hilarious
This is going to
matches.
be the match of
Yeah,
the year.
like I think that could be
Listen,
really great.
before we move on to B block, that's a perfect segue. What are your top three matches you're looking for? You can go from three to one.
Yeah, 3 is gonna be Evil and Sonata because I am really like I think
Yeah,
that
yeah,
has a
yeah,
low floor obviously, but it could
yeah.
be kind of insane.
Dog, it's gonna be hilarious. I can't wait.
Um, 2, I'm a get ooh, the one person, and we didn't really talk about him at length, is Finley,
Yeah,
who I am really thinking about. It's like Finley is one of the best singles guys in the company right now,
but
especially
there's
with
not really
Goto
much
out.
I can say about him because
Yeah,
he's in a weird spot where there's no path for him.
there's no path for him. He's no longer like this like him and Evil were like the two heads of the heel side of
Yeah,
the roster. I don't know what the War Dogs are anymore,
they're
if
not
I'm
good
being
guys.
completely
They're
honest.
not bad guys. Just sit back, enjoy the ride because we're madmen, you know.
See, like I don't know what that means. So like I don't like Finley's still going to be a great heel, and he's going to get a great match out of. And this is going to be my number two. I wish I knew exactly what days these were on because I'm sure just me saying Finley and Cork and Hall probably, but um, yeah, I would say Finley versus Yuya is a match I'm super excited for as well. Just because I really loved their match last year. They clearly have chemistry. That was a match that they wanted to run. That was Yoda Suji was not supposed to win the global. As far as the story was getting told.
I 100% believe that was supposed to be you.
Like yeah, like Yuya and David Finley was the story. And we haven't gotten to get that match. We've gotten David Finley tormenting Yuya and everybody he loves, stealing Sonata from him, who Sonata goes as torture. But we haven't gotten to see Finley versus Yuya. So I am super excited about that. I really hope, I don't think they would forget. I hope they didn't forget about that match and the importance of that match and how much that means to Yuya as a babyface. Really hope that's a great match. That's my number two. Um, that might be a mark here, but I don't know if I could ever vote against, and this might not be my number one. Like I might just be kind of getting seeing the forest through the trees or whatever. But Taichi versus Tanahashi in Sapporo, uh, there's no wrestler that there might not be a wrestler I like more than Taichi in Sapporo. I just think he's like a one of a kind wrestler, and he has such a unique relationship with Sapporo. I've written about it. It's one of my favorite articles I've ever written. Um, was about Taichi. Sorry, was about Taichi in Sapporo and his like coming of age moment, his big uh, spotlight in the heavyweight division. I really loved all of his stuff pretty much that I've ever seen him in Sapporo. So I expect him and Tanahashi to be a lot of fun, purely because of where it's at. And I think they are both going to try. It's Taichi's only main event. Like we just gotta, we I gotta get something good there because I think that's where Taichi shines the most.
No, I definitely agree. Um, I don't feel like it's wrong to be biased, especially because who knows when we'll ever get to see this many Taiji singles matches in a long time.
Yeah, that's
Um,
another thing is that it's just like I'm going to enjoy what is probably Taichi's last G1 since it seems like he was not supposed to be in any more G1s. Like last year, I think 2 years ago was probably his last one. I am also, I will say, very happy that Taichi is not going out on a Great Okan match. That's not his last G1 match because that was his last G1 match, and it was fine. Like they tried doing some like shooter stuff, and that went 20 extra minutes. I was like, you didn't have to do that. So I'm happy that we get to have a couple,
hey, they had a
you know,
big KLPW feud, man.
yeah, see, like that's what I mean. Like I'm happy we're going out on I don't remember on Oleg. We're going out on Taichi Oleg.
Oh,
If that's
really?
his
That's
last
what's up.
one, let's go. You know, I'm happy with it.
Okay, so for me, three, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Tanahashi Oiwa.
Hmm.
Um, two. Listen, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna say my one was Evil and Sonata, but since you already said it, I'm gonna say something different just to change things up. Um, two. I'm very much interested in how Taichi and Yuya do this go around. Um, I would like to think they would do well versus each other, but I'm not too sure. Um, Mostly because I thought their tag chemistry was kind of weird, but tags and facing off are two different things. So,
Hmm.
it could smooth itself out. And then obviously number one, Bolton versus Oiwa, the XAVI Classic, the future of New Japan Pro Wrestling rests in this one match. Um, that has a floor of great to me. Okay, that is the floor. We might hit all time status with this. They're gonna go at it, and I can't wait. But that is all for the B block.
A
We'll go
block.
ahead and get over, or the A block. I mean, sorry. We will get over to the B block, and I promise we won't take as much time to talk about this block. So we have Shota Umino, the New Japan World TV Champion El Phantasmo, Headhunter Yoshihashi making his return to G1, Shingo Takagi, new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Zack Sabre Jr., Great Okan. I was making sure he didn't have a random title I forgot about. IWGP Global Champion, AEW's own Gabe Kidd. My co-host, Drilla Maloney. Um,
Okay.
Sold out Ren Narita, my GOAT, and AEW, DDT, NJPW, probably six other companies as well. Konosuke Takeshita rounding out the block. I'm not even on the front. This is a bad block. This is a pretty bad block. I can't even lie.
Yep.
I won't even sugarcoat it. Um, I I I don't know, man. I can list about seven wrestlers who are not in G1 who I'd rather be in G1 than El Phantasmo, Drill Maloney, and Gabe Kidd. And I would put Yuji Nagata at 95 years old in here over
Oh,
them.
100%.
um, None of those guys are interesting even remotely with me. At least with Zach, for as bad as I think he is, I think there's potential for him to have some good matches in here. Specifically, I think Take and Yoshihashi should get a good one out of him. Him and Narita had a fun New Japan Cup one whenever Narita hadn't figured out how to work yet as a
I
heel.
I
Uh,
do enjoy Ren versus Zach as a match. They have
um,
usually had fun
and
matches.
Zach seemingly is going to change in character direction of he's going to be more of a prick, which is I think is just the most natural fit for him because he's just unlikable to me. No, but this block's bad. I won't sugarcoat it. The recipe for this block to be good is Takesha's going to have to be unreal. Zach
Mm.
has to be watchable. Shingo has to actually show up, and Yoshihashi's just got to be Yoshihashi because he's the best wrestler in this entire block. So, it would be great if Great Okan shows up, but judging by the fact that I believe he has no main events, um, he's probably not going to try this year, and that sucks. Um, I mentioned to you before in private, but I'm kind of out on Great Okan just because I've seen him be great in the past, and I've seen him immediately just go back to being whatever this is as far as how he's been this year, this Great Okan. And to me, that isn't because of inconsistency like some of the other younger guys or lack of talent. I just think he flat out doesn't care. That's just my opinion because I've seen him feel like one of the core pieces of this future. He did it like last year.
Oh yeah,
And
I
I
mean,
also see him like other G1s and this and how he's been this year where he just seems like a movable piece in this future, like where he's very replaceable, and that
hmm.
sucks.
It's interesting because unfortunately for Okan, the one match I wanted to see uh from him in this tournament was
Was that
against
like,
Ottawa.
I was saying Oleg,
Because
but
I mean, the two matches, frankly, yeah, those two matches are two matches that you can kind of see, like, yeah, Great can kind of get. I think Great at his best when he's a bit more experimental with his grappling, when he kind of leans into that a bit more, and not too long winded. So realistically, like the Never stuff, is kind of the best like lane for him,
mhm,
and I feel like he just has never really found himself there, and he doesn't find himself there here. You know, what I mean, this isn't a block for him.
mhm.
You know, what I mean, and like you
This
said
isn't a block for a lot
already,
of people.
that's actually the thing about this block that's the bigger problem than just the individuals I don't like.
Also,
Go ahead.
I just want to ask you: did you know that Great Khan has 7 title runs in New Japan?
Well, what do you count the KOPW? Because technically those
It's a
only count as
title.
one. They only count as one though. The champion at the end of the year is the only champion officially.
My point is, can you tell me one match he had during any of those reigns that was good?
Oh, one of the Taichi matches was good. Not all of them, but one of them was good. Uh,
Oh, which one had Nobu as the ref? I like that one.
that one was funny. That one was good. Yeah, that was good. That was the last one in Korakuen last year.
So,
Um,
but to our point, can I just go ahead and get my Renarita rant before we get into anything else?
wait. Let me give a little bit of overview. My thing about this block is that it's not really good for anybody. You
No,
look at.
this was going to tie into it. That's why I asked, could I do it? Because
I haven't gotten to my point yet
okay,
because
go ahead.
the thing is that it's like you even look at like people like Gabe Kidd and Drilla Maloney. Um, Again,
They're going
people
to have a
who are.
generational bad match, and I can't wait. It's going to be fun.
Yes, but those are people who are like more like bruiser types, if you
Hmm.
will. You want to see them against like Oiwa or Taichi. Like I think those are matches that like
I really don't, but yeah.
okay, I'm saying in general. I'm not saying for you. I'm just saying in general. I think like
Well, I think
Taichi and Gabe might be an interesting matchup. This none of these matches are interesting, even
Taichi
for
and Gabe
Gabe.
wasn't good in the cup. Just saying.
They did that in the cup.
Yeah, it was bad.
Oh fuck yeah,
It
Gabe
was
beat
very
him.
bad.
That did happen.
No, Taichi won because Narita said, "All right, buddy, I'll tell you
Oh,
who's not winning this match."
who the fuck did
Oh,
Taichi? It doesn't matter. Um,
I believe Taichi lost to Zach because they had a bad match, and Zach
Oh yeah, I
won.
watched that. That was
Um,
upsetting.
I think the idea with Drilla here is Shingo's in this block, so like, okay, at the very
Yeah,
least, we can count on Shingo.
yeah. And that's the thing. I don't know if we could count on Shingo
Oh,
to carry
I
this entire
really
block
don't know
no
if we can
more.
count on Shingo.
You know what I
Listen,
mean?
I think Shingo Takagi's at a stage where if they call upon him, he will rise to the occasion. We saw it with the Goto match.
Mm.
But I also think that this is not a year where they're going to call upon him to finish very well in this tournament. So, you would like to think he'd be a safe bet, but I don't know. I think Yoshihashi is probably the safest bet because win, lose, draw, he's going to bring his best.
I think Takesha's probably a safer bet because
I don't because you see,
stylistically he can't be brought down as easily. Like even if a match is really stupid, it'll at least be like junk food with Takeshita. I
yeah,
think
yeah.
I would much rather see Takeshita versus Drilla than Yoshihashi versus Drilla because
I did.
Yoshihashi
You
versus
see,
Drilla sounds like the most bland. Like, and I love Yoshihashi. But Yoshihashi cannot get like he can't get a fun match out of bad
okay. So
wrestlers.
I think Takeshita and Drilla would do the bad forearm wrestling that Takeshita got from Masato Tanaka, and I don't like it. With Drilla, Yoshihashi, I think at the very least would have one of the best babyface performances of the whole tournament because the crowd loves him so much. So like, I think he's just a safer bet just based on the New Japan crowd because he's so beloved. So, but I understand what you mean. No, you're right. In the sense of pure match quality, if you wanted to take on who's the safest best, yeah, it's probably Takeshita, but I would argue Yoshihashi. But my point was, I don't think there's any member of New Japan's new generation that has every right to just throw a refrigerator at Gato more than Ren Narita. Because, and I have something that will tie into the entire new generation that I'll read off that Ash sent me. I think he actually posted today, which I was like, you know what? That's a valid point, but I'm still angry because, like, come on, man. Like, I have watched Ren Narita actually work super hard to try to develop this Kanemaru style over like the last year, but last year he didn't score well. Okay, that's fine. That was the early stages. He was trying out this new style. Fine. I mean, he scored decent. I think he just barely missed out on advancing. I don't really remember, but I think he scored decent enough to where, like, if he beat Takeshita, he probably would have went through, but he didn't beat Takeshita. But think about when he turned. They threw him in a world title match before he got multiple singles reps as a heel. So, like, he just got thrown to the wolves. So he has the G1. He does score well. That's fine. He gets the TV title, holds it for a cup of coffee, loses it immediately at the Tokyo Dome. Does nothing until the War Dogs feud, and the War Dogs feud was good. But the problem is, after that cage match where it was one of the best performances of his life because he's a psychopath that just likes to bleed, he done absolutely nothing. He was a background. He was a background player for Don Fale and Chase Owens, and he feuded with a Fale team, or not a Fale team, a Yano team, and they lost. He's done, and not only that, this block, if me and you know ball, so you understand. I don't have to treat you like you're dumb. The Kanemaruism style that Ren's working over the leg heavily relies on having people that are good at selling.
Yeah.
Nobody in this block is good at selling outside of Yoshihashi, Takeshita, and then sometimes Zack and Shingo. And that's sometimes with those two. I think Zack will try a little bit harder. It just depends how he's feeling. But
sometimes Zack is very exaggerative with his selling.
And I don't like that. Yeah.
But sometimes he
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because, like, the bar is so low with everybody else because everybody else is just terrible at it that puts him in another, like, echelon because, like, he can at least try. Like, they gave him a terrible block to work with. Just a terrible block to try to work with. And it angers me so much because, like, this dude gets the brunt of basically all the hate from the new generation. Shota started to get some of that, except for at least Shota's getting hate because he's in featured spots. People just straight up write off Ren Narita just because he's a heel. And that's so stupid. It's stupid. I understand people liked when he cosplayed Shibata and wasn't his own person. I understand that. You like regions. I understand. Regions. But he's becoming his own man. And, you got to support that. But I just want to read off, just to tie it in, because I do want to talk about Shota a little bit here, about what the new generation has done.
Oh, yeah.
Shota done nothing since losing the New Japan Cup final other than challenge for the title again and lose. And he's back to where he was.
He's homies with Taichi now. They're friends.
Yeah, he's back to where he was. Tsuji done nothing to heat up his G1 run since losing the belt. He just kind of chilled with Hiromu and Shingo. Oiwa done absolutely nothing since he's come back except lose title challenges.
Yep.
Narita gained momentum, nothing to follow up. Yuya came back, did nothing, title shot, again, nothing. This dude is terrible at his job, man. They need to get somebody in there, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, these for as much of favoritism I have to sort some young guys and some people I don't like, this generation isn't even getting a chance because they are getting
No.
screwed at every turn.
Well,
Like, look,
okay. I think it's interesting, and not to interrupt, but I think it is interesting because like the best way to kind of look at it is like look at what they were doing 10 years ago. I think,
mhm,
and if I'm gonna give Gato the benefit of the doubt, which I don't like doing, um, I don't think there's ever been a time where New Japan has sustained this many young guys to the point where
mhm,
they all are ready at around the same time. Usually with a dojo class, they have four,
mhm,
and two of them drop off
yeah,
while they're young lions. One of them drops off, either like late into their young lion or excursion,
mhm,
early debut, don't really do much when they come back. And then, one or two end up being like a worthwhile
mhm.
prospect,
Definitely the
fully
most
formed.
fruitful time for the dojo for
Yeah,
sure.
there's like 8 of them. Like, what I mean? So I get where like that is a struggle because I was thinking about it, it's like, well, what would Gato have done when he was a bit more on his toes? Because I don't think Gato was always the worst booker alive. I think he was a fine booker, 10 years ago or so. But when you
I
look at
tell
10
you
years
what,
ago,
he's been undefeated since 2020. Okay,
oh, he's
since
been, he's been bad since COVID. I agree.
he's been undefeated for worst Booker of the year. He's like, and he's for as much as New Japan fans will try to rewrite history and go, "Oh my God, he's back," he will never be back. He
His
will
best
always be
stuff,
terrible.
his best
He
stuff
will
since then
trick you.
is
He will trick you, but he will never be back.
his best stuff since COVID has been kind of throwing shit at the wall.
Yeah, yeah,
Because like I wrote a manifesto about Sonata's title win.
yeah, yeah,
Where did that come from? Like what did like that was just kind of like what if we
buddy.
tried with Sonata? Like
Listen,
and then they did and it worked for a few months. Like that's
to be
like
fair, to be fair, and I don't want to discredit him because I mean he's the head booker, so he has final say over everything. Um, that's probably because Sonata's the only person that Okada wanted to lose to. So
yeah, that's
that's
true.
probably the big deciding factor in that. Okay.
Yeah.
Sonata was, or Okada was one foot out the door and said, I will lose to
Okada
Sonata.
and Sonata
I
being
will
most
not face
gonna
any
help
of
him
your
out.
young guys. I am leaving.
Yeah. But
um,
but like really like or I mean even the Goto thing this year. I mean like the New Japan Rambo,
yeah.
like that was clearly just like a okay, let's try out Goto. Like
Yeah.
there wasn't
Yeah.
much. It's like, oh, people are really into Goto this year. Let's give him a shot. And then it became like their best
Yeah.
champion
Yeah.
of this title generation. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah. For sure.
Like that's kind of like how this has
He
been
made
working.
that
But
ugly belt mean something, and that moved me.
exactly. But
But
point being,
yeah,
Gato, one, I think, like I said, 10 years ago was a good booker, but he never had to deal with this influx of guys of young guys like this. And I think not only is his skills weakened deeply since then, he's also being forced to do something that is admittedly a difficult thing to do as a booker. Problem is, when you look at these young guys, the only person that you can say confidently they care about is Yoda Suji, and there's
for
like
sure.
8 of them. You know what I mean? Like that's a problem. And when you look at someone like Ren Narita, who has been trying to figure it out,
Yeah.
um, as someone who
I'm
was
not
the
worried about Rin
Negarte.
Narita because he'll be fine. He's the only heel. He's the person that does not have to worry about, I mean, maybe other than Yoda Suji, their job remotely. He's going to be fine. He's the only heel. He's good.
Hmm,
It's just the fact that they have not even tried. Like, he has no main events
yeah,
out of this tournament. And Shota has a lot. Shota has flopped in like every big spot they gave him this year. And I don't want to be harsh on the guy, but he's flopped in every big spot, and you're going to reward him with G1 main events, and Narita can't get one after
yeah. No,
after
I agree.
heating up Gabe Kidd for you to give him the belt before he like was like, I love the Death Riders or something. Like, it really is amazing to me. And that's where I want to talk about Shota, because I think Shota, he does get harsh criticisms for sure. But as somebody who's on the outside looking in and watching him, like, I actually have watched his performances, so I will give my antidote of why I am not a fan of Shota Umino. It's not the same as New Japan, because I think New Japan fans just kind of gang up on him now, and I understand it. I'm not going to stop it. It's not my company. But Shota Umino has fascinatingly, oh my god, he's interestingly enough become just nothing. he has been repackaged like 3 times since he's come back from excursion, and he's just nothing. Like he shaved his head bald, and he really didn't do anything differently except like kind of work more of a bruiser style, but not really. Um,
I thought that his cup run was not as bad as people were giving. Like I thought it
it
was
wasn't
better than
bad. No,
people gave it credit
it
for.
wasn't bad, but in a vacuum, he hasn't shown
Enough.
anything really.
Yeah.
Like in a vacuum, if he just did that, then his ceiling is like 4-time never champion. He hasn't shown anything to me personally to where I would want to invest in him in the future uh, over other guys. Because like I said, even with Ren, who's like constantly getting screwed, like he's at least the only heel, and he's actually giving you a roadmap of what he wants to accomplish as far as his style, and he's slowly working his way. It's just a matter of opportunity and if he'll be allowed to do so. Shota doesn't have his own identity. Um, he only now got his own like move set where he wasn't just doing John Moxley moves, and he's just not very interesting as a singles guy. Like he doesn't really show you much promise that gives you something to look at, and go, oh my god, in a few years that is gonna be big. Like at least with Yuya, you got like, oh my god, he's got the traditional style. He's very Tanahashi esque. Bolton's like, oh my god, what an amateur. Yoda Suji, even at least with Yoda, you're like, oh my god, he does some lucha stuff that
He's
the other
very
guys don't do.
flashy.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't have any of that. He's just there.
I
Like,
don't
and
know.
you can't say he's just like a hard hitting guy because
He doesn't hit that hard.
he doesn't hit that hard. And Oi was here, Takeshita's here, even Oleg's here. Like, come on, like I am not opposed to Shota Umino being a part of New Japan's future. I just want him to show something.
Hmm. And and I am one as somebody who, like you said, I watch enough. I follow New Japan enough to like really like know what's going on, and I watch the shows frequently.
Mm-hmm.
But I am not emotionally invested enough to shy away from my personal, just like kind of status
Bias.
quo.
Yeah, yeah,
Not even
same.
bias. No, my like standard, like my general feeling about wrestling. And so, like for me, this tournament for Shota is like I'm giving him another chance. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gonna watch all of his matches because most of his matches, like look at this lineup, doesn't look good for him. But I'm willing to watch, him and Yoshihashi, him and Shingo, him and Okan even on the last day. I'm kind of curious what that's about because obviously they've positioned Shota opposite United Empire, and part of me is kind of suspecting he might become the leader of United Empire because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else we're doing. Uh, he's kind of just like the sixth guy in Hantai at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so like I'm interested in some of these matches. Him and Ren, I am always interested in. Like I said a joke. I made it as a joke earlier that it's like they're always wrestling, but I generally find that pairing interesting.
Mm-hmm.
One of the more interesting of the youngins amongst each other. So I'm willing to give Shota a shot here because like I'm looking for something to like about this block. And if
Mm-hmm.
Shota decides I'm a show up this tournament, then I'll be like, okay, sure, why not? But I am not hopeful about that. You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
of the things you outlined. That's like it's just taking he's just not showing enough quick enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think he was doing well, then he got hurt, and then last year's G1 was just absolutely abysmal. And
Mm-hmm.
since then, it just has not been clicking even a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, and so it's like, I'm willing to be like, okay, it's been a year. Like
Mm-hmm.
he had a down year, maybe he picks it back up. I'm not expecting him to pick it back up, but I'm willing to kind of give him the benefit of the doubt in that sense that it's like, he might be on the top half of this block. And that's not saying a lot because
Yeah.
like there are one, two, at least three like
Shota,
actively bad wrestlers.
and I really do hate to be that guy, but the other members of his generation constantly bring it up in promos, so why not address it? Shota will
Nepo.
never not be dead in the water like some of these guys because he does have nepotism. Like
Yeah.
he's always just going to be okay. So like, it's really up to him. Like they're never going to stop with him. And I apologize if that offends Shota Umino fans, but it's a constant talking point amongst the other generation when they do the promos and stuff. So like, I mean, hey, we got to acknowledge it, and it's probably true. I mean, hey, throughout the history of wrestling, nepotism is always prevalent. So there's no need to just lie about it. It's fine though. It's just solely up to him to deliver. Um, I think Yoshihashi should beat El Phantasmo and then win the TV title and just have 15-minute bangers for like a year. But
I agree.
um, I think it's funny, and I don't want to celebrate just being on the right side of history, but incredible to watch the Japanese fans turn on Gabe Kidd in real time, and for that matter, some of the foreign New Japan fans as well because of his ventures in AEW. It's incredible how he has nerfed his entire character and what he's set out to say he was in like a few months span,
Yeah.
especially as he's gotten this title run. He bombed, buddy. If I bombed a singles title match main event with Tanahashi in his retirement tour, I would cry. I'd probably cry, man. Be honest, because that's rough. Um, but it's just been so fun to watch for me, just because it's like I was never a fan, but it's interesting to see how he nuked all his goodwill with, I would argue, the one fan base that embraced him with open arms.
Yeah, the thing about Gabe Kidd is that I liked his Kingston match years ago. And I was like, oh, he seems like he'll be good one day.
I think his tag
Um,
stuff with Coughlin was good, but I was just a big Coughlin guy, so
I also like Coughlin. Yeah. I thought Coughlin kind of made him look worse because a more Coughlin was a more charismatic, a more like just like interesting wrestler. But besides the point. With Kidd, it's like people have really liked him. People have really gotten behind him over the past year. Uh,
I
and
think
so
I
I've been
also think
trying to
an
watch him
issue with
more.
that is just the Western Puro fan base's desire to always have a top foreigner to cling
Yeah.
to instead of just getting behind one of the
See,
other
and
like mega towns.
I was chilling because Zach was always mine. Uh, until this year, now it's Finley. Shout out.
Mm.
But I was like, okay, I'll give Gabe more of a shot, even though I don't like him just generally. I was never a big fan of him. And the more I watched of him over the past year, the Kenny match, which I did like, I thought was good. And then like the two Yoda Suji matches, um, I didn't like. And just like him in general, him in AEW and whatnot. I just watch him and I feel like he's doing
Parodies of
He's yeah,
himself,
it feels like
parody
he's
of himself.
trying to be something that he's just not. And like I don't and I think the reason
I
for that
thought
is
him
because he's
and
not
Ren was
particularly
fun in the
great.
cup because they just did Shibata stuff, but
Well, that's the thing. Gabe and Narita are usually good together. Problem is Narita always loses.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I do generally think Kid and Narita work well together because they were both trained by Shibata at the same time. They shared a fucking room together in the dojo. So obviously they kind of have a certain level of, and this was beyond the point of them being green young lions
Mm-hmm.
and them like actually beginning to build who they are as wrestlers. Uh, so obviously they click a bit more. Um, but like outside of that, for example, it's really hard because stylistically he has an interesting style. I just don't think he does it very well,
Mm-mm.
and I think people sometimes get lost in the style aspect of it. I look at the Kenny Omega match at Wrestle Kingdom, right? Oh, that was a very good match because it was Kenny's return match. That was a lot of fun. It was Kenny's first match in Japan in years. That was very fun. But it also was Kenny versus a style that he doesn't really interact with very much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that was cool. But I didn't think that Gabe's active participation in that match was like what
Yeah,
made it good. And so, like, if we can get past his
boy,
active participation
the
in these
high that
matches,
people were on Gabe Kidd after that match, man.
yeah. And then the Suji match, people were also obsessed with it.
People were
I
like,
thought
the
that was pretty
Tokyo
weak.
Dome chose Gabe Kidd, bro. So the Tokyo Dome was like a fourth fool for Wrestle Dynasty.
Yeah,
Of course they chose him. This was Shinky, Bubba. Like, come on, man.
but nevertheless, so I think I'm the guy that's like I think Gabe Kidd can sometimes be good in spite of himself. So if Kid versus Takeshita, for example, ends up being good, I wouldn't be surprised. But I just don't think he has the
I
individual
feel like
uh, competence or strengths
mhm.
that a lot of people see him to have. And yeah, I don't think he brings a lot to this tournament. I think that like he's gonna get enough wins because he's global champ, but he's not gonna win it. Luckily, he's
I
not gonna.
think
He's
him
probably
and
not gonna reach the
Takeshita
final.
for the belt at the Dome is the play if you as Tana's final opponent.
Yeah, like I think Kid and Takeshita would be a fun, like should be a fun match. Like I said, even if it is in spite of
Should be
Gabe Kidd
sold
as a
out, but
person, but I know. Even if it is in spite of Gabe Kidd as a wrestler, and it's just stylistically, it's a cool matchup. I'm not afraid to like admit that sort of thing, but I just don't see
God, man.
much use in Kidd
I'm just
in
looking at the
2025.
screen, man. Gabe versus GOK and Shingo's gonna suck.
Yeah, like those, like I just don't see like good matches
Oh
in some
my
of these.
god, another Phantasmo GOK, man. Oh my god.
Do you want to talk about Phantasmo?
No, I don't.
Yeah, that's
Why? Why?
um
Okay, okay. You know what? Yes, let's talk about El Phantasmo. You know what? First, let me finish up my Gabe thought.
yep.
One of my biggest issues with Gabe as a pro wrestler, nothing he does feels authentic to me.
No.
Everything to me just feels fraudulent, and it's just like I can't get invested in it. And it's not like a good type, like where you have a heel who's like very paranoid, so they just make scenarios up and just believe it. It's just everything he does, just I feel nothing. Everybody has wrestlers, or I don't want to say has their favorites because I think any wrestler can do this if they're good at their job. That just makes you feel something when watching their matches. They don't even have
Mhm.
to be your favorite. They just make you feel something. I watch Gabe Kidd. I don't feel anything. Sometimes I feel anger because it's just like this isn't really good. But and obviously my opinion, but I don't feel anything. And that's just the issue for me and why I disconnect from most of his matches because I can't get into them. It's just all there is to it. But yeah, I would love to talk about Alpha and Testament. Thank you, buddy. How do I say this nicely?
Okay, let me start. You know what?
Yeah,
I'll go
please.
first. I'll
Yes,
go first.
please. What I got to
Um,
figure this out, so you please start.
so El Phantasmo is an interesting case. Uh, he's one of the handful of guys who like the heavyweight style hasn't cushioned him. One of those like less athletic
He
guys
should have never
who.
been allowed to move up.
That's what I mean. Like I
At
feel
least
like
he was okay junior tag guy.
yeah, I mean he was okay junior tag guy. I liked his stuff with like Watto. I talk about their matches in Best of Super Juniors frequently because I always thought that those were like really good. And I was always like, okay, I can see Phantasmo as a heel against a pure babyface. This is good. This is a good match. I get the matchup. It works. And then he moved up, and I feel like I already wasn't a big fan of Phantasmo in as a junior, but as a heavyweight, I feel like he has as a babyface heavyweight especially.
I was
I
going to
feel
say,
like
how
he
do you feel
has
about him as a babyface heavyweight?
I feel like he just is like stripped down to the point where it's like there's just nothing really there. And the funny and kind of fucked thing is that like this G1's kind of fucked for him because he has one great matchup as a heavyweight babyface. And they've done it 7 times in the past year. So it's no longer interesting. It's him against Takeshita.
Well,
Because
buddy, here's
him and
another.
Takeshita always worked well together. They've always had like pretty that's like his highest floor
Mhm.
for Phantasmo is against Takeshita.
Those are the
But
matches that trick people.
they ran like 3 matches in the past couple months. Like why did they do that? Why and then
Listen,
run in another one? Like what's the like legitimately? Because I went on my way to watch him and Takeshita.
was it the
The
Never match that happened in America?
No, I did not watch that one.
Was
I
it
watched
G1 last year?
I watched the G1 match last year, and I watched
The
TV
Des-
title match this year.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Despe Invitational
I
spot.
also watched that one. I've seen three. I've seen three of their like interactions. I've seen more probably, but three of their notable interactions, and they were good. Like even the TV title one this year, I thought was like fine. It was worse than their previous ones, but it was all right. And I'm just wondering why they keep doing it so much because like
Hmm.
if this was their first match since the G1 last year, I would be excited for it because they had a good G1 match last year. It was probably my favorite Phantasmo match ever because it was a very good match. But they've ran it so much that I'm just like, okay, like I don't know, I saw it, I've seen it plenty of times, and so that really fucks Phantasmo because otherwise
Hmm.
I don't see much good for him in this tournament. Because I'm trying to look, you're a bit more of the negative Nancy here, and that's okay. We need that, but I'm trying to look at like each of
That's what
these
I'm here
wrestlers.
for, man.
even though I don't like a lot of these wrestlers, I want to look at it and be like, okay, what can they get out of this tournament?
There's
What can this? I don't think Phantasmo has anything,
there's like
which is
two
a
rest.
shame.
Okay, I'll let you finish your thought, man. Whatever.
It's a shame. It's a shame because, like I said, like Phantasmo versus Takeshita should work. It should be like something I'm excited for. But like they ran 2 back-to-back matches over 2 weeks, and like it just I'm just wondering why they kind of shot him in the foot here. I mean, like I think him and Ren might be able to be fun. They had
No,
good they had good
not
interactions
no.
at the dome, but it'd
I
have to be
don't.
quicker. It'd have to be like a faster paced match, which Ren is kind of hit or miss with the faster paced matches. So like Phantasmo isn't great at them, but that's where he shines more so. So like I'm just not looking at like Phantasmo just is not going to have a good tournament. I
Mhm.
just don't see a path for him to have like even like a couple standout matches. I just
Mhm.
don't really see it for him. Go ahead.
You don't. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I'm negative because I don't want to lie.
Mm,
And I'm similar to you. Even if I'm not a fan of somebody, I want to try to see the good. Like I said, I think Gabe can have good ones with Takeshita and Ren.
hmm
That's possible for him. Like I said, I think GOK could have a good one with Shingo. They've had a good one in the past. I'm sure they can do it again. And
Yeah.
Yoshihashi's the man, so I think he can have a good one with anybody. And same thing with Shota. I think there's a few matches in here that could be fun for him. I think Takeshita can get something good out of him for sure. Um, Not quite Hiroki Goto, but I think Takeshita can kind of awaken something in him similar. Um, I'm not going to say anything about Zach because we're going to talk about him last, but there are two people in this block that I have absolutely zero faith in. Like, absolute zero faith in having anything good come out of this tournament. And one of them's El Phantasmo.
Mm,
Okay? And I don't want to be harsh necessarily. It's just that he's almost 40. He doesn't have a role in this company's future. He is a high flyer that's really, really slow. He's peaked as a wrestler as far as what he can do accomplishment wise, unless like he gets like the never. He's pretty much peaked as far as a heavyweight singles. Babyface is just not fun to even attempt to watch. Um, I just think he's overstayed his welcome in New Japan. That's just my take.
I
I
don't
don't want.
disagree.
I'm not.
I don't disagree.
I'm not going to be outright mean or anything because, like I said, I legitimately just hate El Phantasmo as a pro wrestler. Like I just don't enjoy anything he does. But I just think he's overstayed his welcome in the company. And
Yeah.
basically, what I'm trying to say is, the Ring of Honor World Television title has your name on it, and I hope you go capture that king. Okay.
Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne. He's coming for you.
um,
Or
I mean,
Teton. He might have won it yesterday. Whenever this comes out, I don't know.
yeah. Um, so I have to ask before we get into the world champion. How's it feel to be in your first G1, buddy? You got any
Okay. Fuck you. That's not my
you
name.
got like who in this block do you think is going to be the hardest for you to maintain? Which one are you most excited for? How you think you're going to do? It's your first time. You were in Best of Super Juniors like 2 years. You were in a lot of junior tag leagues, but you were in the Cup earlier this year. You did pretty good. But this is your first
You know how
G1. How
I am not Drilla Maloney and we're different people is that I
he has
never would have
hair.
moved up. I have hair too. Fuck you, man. I have hair. No, is that he moved up to the heavyweight division. I just want to be junior heavyweight champion. That was my dream
That's fair.
when I was 13
You
years
should
old.
answer my question. Like which?
Um, I'm not in the G1. Drilla Maloney is in the G1. Big Dan Maloney, he is in the G1, and yeah, I'm not looking forward to any of it. Actually,
I think
I don't know what
you're
Drilla's
being
doing here. If I'm
before.
being honest,
Yeah, he definitely should not be here. But to stop everybody from you being negative to Drilla Maloney, I will go ahead and tell everybody listening right now so we can move on. Drilla Maloney will indeed have some matches in the G1.
he
Okay,
will
let's
wrestle in the
get.
G1. But no, I will even say the problem with Drilla Maloney that makes him even worse than the field is that like he's El Phantasmo without the tenure.
No, he doesn't have Jado. Come on, man.
That too. Shouts out. Their years this biz. But that's the thing. Like he's El Phantasmo. Maybe not like they're not the same wrestler. They're not similar. You know, they're not the same
Yeah,
style
I
or
don't
anything
think
like that.
Alvin Tasman's British. I think he's Canadian.
I would. Okay. Yeah, you're right. But no, the thing is that El Phantasmo is, at least has like the excuse of like, yeah, but he's been loyal. He hasn't left, so we'll put him in the tournament.
Yeah.
Drilla is just bad. He's been bad
He
since he
got a
came
hot
in.
shot heavyweight push kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, like
The dome
and like
happened, and they're like, "Oh my god, you are equals with Shingo Takagi."
that's what I mean. That's insane. Like, how did we get here? Like, and it's not like he's like a young, like Callum Newman. I get why they're doing that, even if I don't like him. What
Drilla
is
is
the
like
point
28, I
here?
think.
Is he really?
Yeah,
See, that's the problem with fucking these Brit rest guys is that they start wrestling when they're 12, and it's like I've been hearing about this
and they look
fucker
like
Dan
35
Maloney.
like their whole life. So I mean, I understand.
I've been hearing
But yeah,
about
he's
Dan
like 28.
Maloney for like 12 years. It feels like, and
Yeah, he's
he's
like 28. He might be
okay.
turning 29, but I'm pretty sure he's like the second youngest in this block or third youngest.
That's crazy. But
Narita's the
okay, yeah,
youngest in the block.
younger guy, not as old as El Phantasmo. Okay, that's fair.
But
That's fair.
still,
Never mind. I still
at
don't know
least
why we're
Callum had
pushing.
to go through like the play in last year. And he had a play in match this year, but Drilla had a overnight heavyweight push. Callum going through the play in was his rise to like be amongst the regular heavyweights. Drilla had the dome match, and then all of a sudden he's equal footing with Shingo. Beats Shingo
The
immediately,
the
goes to the final
guys
four of the cup.
the guys they pick for best of Super Juniors that end up having staying power is so bizarre. And I know like that's not the point. And we're gonna move on. But like really, when you think about it, it's like Trent Beretta, El Phantasmo, Drilla Maloney. Like, what are we doing? Like, how are these the guys that they like want to push? You know what I mean? Like they've had good. Like, how is Kevin Knight not? Doesn't matter. Let's just move on. Let's go to Zach.
I
Let's
was
go
gonna
to Zach.
say he kind of doesn't really work here like that, but
He
um,
did. He did longer than fucking Drilla did.
listen, we're not gonna open up the Kevin Knight worms because I have mentioned to you many times how upset
Yeah.
I am that Kushida yelled at them that this is the guy, and they said no, it's not. Okay, um, let's get to the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. I will go first since
Mhm.
I don't like Zack Sabre Jr., but I do want to say something. Out of this block, other than Sold Out, because I ride or die for my boy, we also have to talk about Takeshi last, but I don't think there's anybody who's been more set up for failure than Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah.
because he had a terrible world title run. He lost it in one of the best matches of the year in a great moment. He had no momentum. He challenged again. He had a draw. Lowest momentum he's had in New Japan for a long, long time. And then
Maybe
he
ever.
beats the most beloved world champion of this generation with no momentum
Yep.
and kills that. And now he's going into G1 into a weak block. Um, as someone who doesn't enjoy Zack Sabre Jr. matches, because why do you have the match won with one submission and decide you're just going to change submissions just cuz? What is wrong with you? Just win. Don't
Because it would
don't
take
waste.
like 20 minutes for them to eventually tap out. So you got
Don't
to get to a better position.
no, because he goes for a completely different body part. Like, what is
Okay,
wrong with this guy?
that I
What
agree.
is wrong
He's
with
got
him?
he's gotten very lazy about like where he moves
No,
to.
like, come on, man.
But from
Bro,
a
you have
functional
worked
standpoint,
over this arm the entire match. Why do you have a heel hook on? What is wrong with you? Go back. Like, yeah,
good
anyway,
point.
anyway,
Good point.
I feel bad for the guy because, like, well, kind of. I feel bad for him because, like, they had him beat Goto, and that's got him backlash already. Like, that was already like, oh my god, why would you do this? You had one of the worst Tokyo Dome main events in recent memory, really bad run. And while that's not entirely on him, it takes two to tango. It still was him, and he has to somehow try to salvage his image to go into this tournament and try to make something shake while his momentum is at an all-time low. Like I
Isn't
said,
it?
far
It's,
from far
this is
from a
off topic.
ZSJ fan, but like they set him up for failure pretty bad here, man.
This is off topic. But isn't it crazy that Ricochet was in the best Tokyo Dome main event this year?
I know it's crazy.
Like, I mean, it was a
Show
good
some
match.
love for
Like,
Ricochet.
I'm not just saying that because like, oh fuck, like no, it was a good like him and Zach had a good match. But crazy that that happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like I am a Zach fan. Like historically, I have always been a Zach fan. I was a Zach fan when I was watching him in PWG in 2015 before he
Yeah.
was even that good. Um, I was a Zach fan when he went to my local indie, and I watched him. I was a Zach fan of Suzuki-gun because I was a Suzuki-gun diehard too, and I like TMDK, really like Zach. So it's like I've always been a Zach fan, but I would agree that like they really have like this year has been a total setup for him, um, and not even one that I think he can make much out of because like
Mm-hmm.
Zach is an interest like I questioned the choice to put the belt back on him for several reasons. One of which is that, yeah, like you did nothing to kind of preserve his
Mm-hmm.
momentum post losing the belt.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you put the belt on him now instead of like a year or two from now when he can actually be of use? Like, I don't see the use of Zach as champion right now, but I digress. The other part is that Zach is one of the more interesting spoiler tournament wrestlers.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I agree.
so I don't know why they would take that out of play
That was his entire
from someone
job
like
when he was in
Shota.
Suzuki Goon.
Yeah,
That
like,
was
and
his entire job.
that was where I really started to really enjoy his work and think he was a very good wrestler was because he was always just like beating Naito, and it's just like in such dire matches
That might have
he
been
would
where
just
my hate
win.
started. I'm not sure, but yeah, go ahead.
Probably. But like in matches like those where it's like such dire moments, like and he upsets and it's awesome. And it's like he's just like this force in tournaments that I think is really interesting most of the time. And I'm just like, why is he champion? Like that's not really I don't like that. Um it also takes away, frankly, it takes away one of the like good wrestlers. Like even if you don't love his style, he's I would argue one of the better like four wrestlers in this tournament at least, or in this block rather. Takes him away from being in contention in the end. Like he's not winning the tournament, so
Mm-hmm.
it's like kind
It
of
could make playoffs.
yeah, but it's still it just weakens the block a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean it's he hasn't had a good year in ring outside of the Goto matches, two of them, not
I would have
the
preferred him
block.
in the playoffs than actually being world champion in this
That's
tournament.
what I mean. Like get him near the end and like have him put somebody over there. I just don't see the point in giving him the belt now. He's not having a good year. He just isn't in ring. Like it's not his year, and that's fine. I don't know why they put the belt back on him, and I think this
Not to
G1's going to be
glaze the
hard.
Savage King, but it's crazy that Zach got two runs this year
Yeah,
and
like
Finley
that's what I
didn't
mean.
get one.
Like especially when you look at it in that context, it's like how did Finley uh
Maybe
not win the
that's the
belt?
issue. If somebody else beat Goto, maybe it would have been fine. It's been like, okay, they tried something different,
Hmm.
but they went right back to Zach, and that's probably where things are like kind of
And it all just like again like no fault of his own outside of him being kind of poor in his output this year. Uh, none of this is really Zach's fault, and
Yeah.
so he's just kind
Like I
of
said,
inheriting a lot of like pressure here that I don't know if he's going to be able to live up to in this block because a lot of these matches don't sound good.
yeah,
Um,
no,
so I don't know. Like they sound better than some of the other matches in this block,
yeah.
but it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard.
Um, we really don't need to talk about Yoshihashi and Shingo. I just hope Shingo's on. Yoshihashi's not going
Yeah.
to score a lot. I hope he
I think
gets like.
he's exclusively in the opening matches, pretty much.
I hate this company, man.
I know.
Whatever. And you know what? I, you know what? I'm not gonna be negative. I just want to finish out the preview. Whatever. Um, let's talk about Takeshita. Why don't you go first? Talk about Takeshita.
Just so you know, yeah, Yoshiashi's in the opening match, um, 8 times, and he's in the second match once.
This is the
Um,
worst company in pro wrestling.
of the entire tournament, both blocks, he is the lowest placing member, lowest like
Oh my
hard
god, turn
placed.
this company to NXT Japan right now. Jesus Christ, why would they do this? Yoshihashi should have at least 4 main events. This is
These numbers are
ridiculous.
actually damning. Like he's lower than
He's
Callum.
legitimately a top 5 wrestler in this division, man. Why are you doing this?
Like Drilla is like always higher than him outside of one day. That's insane. Okay.
Man, I don't like
Um,
New Japan, but yeah, talk about Takeshita.
Yeah, Yoshihashi and Shingo will do good because they're good wrestlers. Takeshita is the most interesting person in this block. Obviously, I feel like I'm always excited to see kind of what Takeshita can do in a round robin, and this is no different. Even if it is, I'm actually maybe more excited to see like what he can do with such a bad block, because like you have to you gotta get what you're gonna get. You know, you gotta hang on to what you can get. Excuse me. So it's like I'm excited for his matches against some of these people to see like what the higher end of some of these guys are. You're right. I think a Joe Maloney match, on second thought, does sound pretty dire between him and Takeshita because that just sounds like it's.
They're gonna trade forearm strikes, and
They're gonna do
I'm going
strong
to
style. You know what I
I'm
mean? They're
going
going to
to
do
DM
strong
you.
style.
I'm going to DM you and be like, "Hey, bro, I mean what you said, right?"
They're gonna do British strong style. In fact, like that's like what
Okay.
they're gonna do.
Okay. No.
It's not gonna be good. I mean, it could be like fine, but I just don't.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah, I think
like that we've had a British strong style reference on our show.
Sorry. I think Takeshita is the most interesting here. I'm excited for all of his matches. I'm excited for his matches, especially against Shota and Ren and Zach. Those are the big ones. But also, like him and Yoshihashi will be fun. I'm sure him and Shingo is an interesting one that I
think Yoshihashi and Takeshita might be like match of the tournament.
well, it's an opening match. So
oh my god!
they're all opening matches, Xavier. Yoshihashi isn't going to be able to do shit.
Okay, you know what? No, this company doesn't want to be great. I can't feel bad at them failing for now.
He needs to calm down.
No, this company doesn't want to be great. No.
You were peeking. Just need
God.
Metaphorical chill pill. You know what I mean?
No, God. No, listen.
Okay. All you.
How do you take like the second, third best wrestler in this block and go, yeah, man, you're only working the openers? Man, okay, continue. Please continue.
Like, no, I agree. It's fucking dumb. Yeah, no, I think Takeshita, and like even against, like I said, against Gabe, I'm kind of interested in that one. Battle of the AEW wrestlers. And yeah, like I always find Takeshita kind of interesting.
It's the Death Riders versus the Don Callis family. That's what's up, bro.
Yeah. But that's kind of my thing with Takeshita is kind of like a good Gabe kid in that I said stylistically Gabe is interesting, but as a wrestler functionally he's not. I feel like Takeshita stylistically is a bit basic. It's kind of just like every cool Puro thing you've ever seen. But what he does with it is very good and very like fascinating and a lot of fun. So I think like I'm interested to see how he kind of meshes with pretty much everybody here. Morbidly curious for some of them, but yeah, I'm excited for his tournament. He should probably like dog walk the entire block, more or less. I would love to see a last night Ren like upset.
Spoiler,
yeah, to kind of like maybe like get him into second or third place instead of first.
I don't have high hopes for how Ren does because of how he has no main events. But since he has Takeshita on the last block, what I would hope and what they need to do for Ren's sake is Narita beats him final night, and Narita takes that first spot in the play-in. So like he's already like through to the semis, and then Takeshita has to beat somebody else in the playoffs, and then he beats Ren and goes to the finals. That's what I
forget who the main event of the last night for B block is.
It's probably like ZSJ versus somebody.
Yeah, you're probably right. But you can talk while I kind of find it.
Yeah, but that's what I would hope. Oh, it's a Shota.
Oh, it's Shota and Great-O-Khan.
Oh, that's the final night?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't read the rest. My beat dog. That's the funniest main event possible
I know.
for this.
Like how the fuck did Takeshita and Ren Narita not go main event in that one?
Shota versus Great-O-Khan was like, it didn't register to me. I was about to say something else, and then it registered to me. Okay, all right, sure, man, yeah. Maybe like Takeshita versus the winner of that, and then he beats them, and then beats Ren again, and goes to the final. That I would be moved by that.
I could see that. I could see Takeshita over Shota, then over Ren, then Takeshita. Yeah, I could see that. Go on.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But honestly, I don't have any worries about Takeshita. New Japan, for their credit, as much as they really hate wrestlers that don't come from their dojo system, Takeshita is like signed to. Takeshita has like 3 contracts, and they've done him very, very well. Very, very well. He basically has only not been a champion since signing as of very recent. And he's
like a few weeks.
And he's set up for a big G1, and I expected him to just beat Gabe for the belt. So like they have done so right by him. Not to knock AEW, but they treat him like the star that I feel like AEW should. And I know it's a little different, things are a lot different and all, but he has a good theme song here. He feels like the man. Like, if there's anything AEW should steal from New Japan, it should probably just be how to present Takeshita, because he feels like the man. Bolton legit felt like he reached another level whenever he finally beat Takeshita, like as far as in title matches. So I have no worries about Takeshita in this. I think he's gonna have some great matches. I'm interested to see if he like elevates anybody who traditionally wouldn't have great matches, like Drilla or Great Khan, and brings them to have something great. Ultimately, I'm just hoping that he makes a run to the finals. It's kind of stingy. Like I said, he has 3 contracts, and you probably want like somebody who's here all the time to go to the final.
Last Day doesn't have an official card order. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was like, wait, I don't think like
I was going to say Shota versus Great Khan doesn't sound right. I don't
think that makes sense.
Yeah,
so yeah, Final Day.
You shouldn't have looked though. You should just let us rock and just continue thinking that was it. But no, I don't have any hopes as far as any worries for Takeshi. I think he's going to go out here and kill it. He's been a great addition to the G1. Last year, he just slid in, fit like a glove, and was such a great ad. This year, he's going to have to take it to another level and show why he's one of the best.
I agree.
Any lasting comments about this block before we get into our questions?
Oh, what matches are you looking forward to? We could just do like one, because I don't think I have 3 if I'm being real.
I actually do have 3. 1, Narita Takeshita. 2, Takeshita Yoshihashi. 3, Narita Yoshihashi. Okay.
My 1 is Takeshita Zack.
Mm-hmm.
My 2 is, it's hard because like I said, Yoshihashi is getting nothing. My 2 is Ren Zack, I would say, and then
Phantasmo Maloney.
I am interested to see Shota versus Ren now.
Okay, no, that's fair.
It's been a minute.
You played it safe.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Not like a super long time, but it's been a minute, and I'm kind of interested where we're at here.
Okay, you know what? Let's go ahead and get into our questions. I had people ask us on Twitter, and if these questions spawn us to have other questions amongst ourselves, obviously we're going to shoot. That's what we do. So my co-host Beth asked, who out of the Brubs only would do the best in the tournament? Zach. I said a lot of mean things to Beth after this. Probably Callum, because he has nothing but good wrestlers in his block.
Yeah. It'll be hard for Callum to shit the bed that much.
Yeah.
Callum also pretty much only in opening matches too.
Yeah.
So it should be pretty
It should be in and out.
Yeah, it shouldn't be painless even if it doesn't click. So
so he'll probably do the best.
I'll say Zach because like that's the guy, but
Callum I forgot about him.
Yeah, Callum's a close second just because it's
no, you're right. It's Zach. It's Zach. I just forgot. I forgot he existed, even though we just talked about him.
Yeah, because I agree that like Callum is going to have to fail. Zach's going to have to succeed. For something to happen. So like that's the difference. But yeah, I would say Zach, but Callum's too.
Okay. I don't know if it's pronounced Haley or Holly. Just because they're from Southeast Asia. I don't know if it's pronounced a different way, but basically they asked, who do you each think will have both the best performances in G1 and the worst performances in G1? I'll let you go first.
Let's look at this real quick. I know it's out of left field because we didn't talk about much, but I think Finley
for sure
should have the best performances, because I can't look at any of these matches, save for again maybe Newman, and think, oh, that won't work. Like I said, I'm confident it will work.
To Finley's credit, the only reason I couldn't really talk about him is because he has no direction. As well as there's guys in this tournament that we talked about that we're not necessarily fans of, but there were reasons we had to talk about them.
Definitely.
Finley, there's really nothing going on.
Yeah, but I still think I'm looking at this entire block. It's like I don't think there's any match where like he won't succeed, really, because they all should work.
For sure. Worst performance?
Probably Drilla, like I kind of alluded to. I think
that's fair.
maybe Phantasmo, but I think Drilla just is the most like, what are you doing here of the
I
of
think
the
like
tournament?
at least Phantasmo might take like a Blue Thunder Bomb through a Japanese announce table or something.
Yeah, and like I don't know, like
I'll give him like some bonus points for that. So
I think a high spot or two could make a match like kind of interesting,
yeah.
but I don't see that with Drilla as much. So probably Drilla.
that was good.
Self hatred.
Worst performances.
Well,
I'm
you
not
haven't
gonna
said
lie.
best or worst.
No, I'm gonna
Best
do
or
worse.
Okay.
I'm gonna do worse first. I'm gonna be honest. As much as I love him, he's like one of my favorite guys in the entire tournament. They don't let him work. The Sonata run might get real spooky. I'll be honest, it might get real spooky. We alluded to it earlier, but it might get real spooky. I think he's one that stands out, obviously. But the thing is, Sonata's a good wrestler, and
yeah,
people who say he's not, they're frauds. The frauds. they probably are tapped in to, like, I don't know. I can't think of a bad AEW wrestler right off the top of my head, so I can't make a joke. But they are frauds. Listen, Sonata is a great wrestler. Okay. It's just a matter of if he's gonna try and if they let him do anything. So I think his run could be pretty spooky, all things considered. But other than him, I'm gonna say Great Okan because I am banking on this being an Okan year where he does not try. So as far as best performances, I'm gonna go Taichi just because it's his last one. Probably, I think he's just gonna go all out, just try to leave with a happy memory. So I'm gonna go Taichi.
I mean, I definitely hope so, and obviously
Yeah.
Taichi's my guy. But I kind of wanted to, not be chalk about it. But yeah, no, I think Taichi and David Finley are the ones I'm the most like definite about.
Actually, you know what? It's Tanahashi, man. It's his last
Okay,
one.
that's fair. Also
Tanahashi, as broken down as he is, he will refuse to fail at being great in this tournament. I promise. Like, I promise. People might not believe me because he's so broken down, and we've seen traces of that throughout this year. It's his last G1. I think it would take mystical forces for Hiroshi Tanahashi to not be great, especially with him signed up for 5-man events.
And he didn't take easy matches either. Like he could have taken like Zach and just like some of these guys, because like him and Zach obviously have
a lot of these are safe. Taichi and Finley is going to be where it gets spooky for him because those are head drop specials.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Like maybe Taichi just kicks him a bunch. Taichi likes doing that sometimes if he wants to be nice, just kicking.
Yeah, but the rest of these he should be fine. But those two, those are head drop specials, so he might be it might be in for something rough there. And also, I don't think people understand Tanahashi is going to wrestle the entire New Japan roster in singles matches before this year is up. Like that is very much given. Like he's done that slowly throughout this year. Him wrestling Tiger Mask 4 tells me all I need to know. He's going to wrestle this entire roster in singles matches before this year is up.
Oh, yeah, Tiger Mask 4 retire next year. Think he does Best of Super Juniors?
I hope not, but no, actually he's retiring before Best of Super Juniors, I believe.
Oh, really? I thought he was retiring in July.
Yeah, no, I think it's like April or February or something.
Oh shit.
But I think Tanahashi's going to have one last hurrah. I think he might break down in real time at the Dome for sure. However, I just think he's going to be great this second half as we lead up to his retirement. He's going to get it all out of his system, so he wants to just leave it all out there. So I think it's there. Haley also asked thoughts on Oiwa winning it all. If I had the pin, that's what would be happening. Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean I agree. I like thing about like when it's looking at winners and shit. I would love to see like an Oiwa get to the final stage. I just don't really see it. You know what I mean? Like it'll be a hard sell for someone like him to get through.
Ultimately, we will have a lot of people that don't have a chance of winning this.
Yeah. So, 100%. And I think, yeah. I mean, I would love to see him win it.
Oi was a
I would love
fascinating
to just
case.
see him win matches. You know what I mean?
Oi was a yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oi was a fascinating case for me because I think he's by far the most talented of this generation. But I wonder if maybe they don't like him as much because he wrestles such a Noah style. They're just
Yeah.
like, yeah. But
Shout out Ogawa though.
yeah, no, he's come on, man. Him and Tana's
Rat
gonna
boy.
rock. He is going to tap out Tanahashi. It's gonna be great.
Oh, Tanahashi tapped out the Jay White move.
Okay, no. Okay, we're done with that. Peps asks, what is the match you two are the most hyped for that doesn't involve any of your favorite wrestlers? That's tough because I like a lot of this field, and like the matches that include people I don't like, I'm not excited for. So, maybe just Zack versus Narita is probably the safest one I can say.
Yeah, it depends on what you mean by like favorite wrestlers, because like I would say Shota and Narita, but Narita is one of my favorite
Yeah, I was gonna say you
younger
like
guys.
Narita a lot, so like,
So that's kind of hard. Because that's the thing. Like I like a lot of these guys. Maybe I like good wrestlers. That's a problem.
yeah. I mean, you could just say Taichi and Callum because they've had a good one. So
Yeah,
like,
but Taichi's my favorite wrestler.
oh yeah, no, you're
He's
right.
my
I already
favorite.
forgot the
He's my
question.
favorite guy.
I forgot the question. Yeah, you're right.
Maybe like I guess because they're not in my favorites, I would say Bolton and Oiwa.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do like them both a lot, but neither of them are like a top 5 favorite in the company or nothing like that.
Yeah.
So probably them.
If it's not Zach, wait, never mind. I can't say Zach versus Narita because I love him.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Mine is Evil Sonata.
Okay, come on now.
Yeah, you see, the issue is this is pretty rough. You know what? I'm gonna boldly say Shota and Zach redeem themselves. I'm going to.
We didn't even talk about how that fucking hell match is about to happen. I hope they do. I would be happy if they just.
I mentioned them having the worst Tokyo Dome main event in like recent.
Yeah, I would be really happy if they just had like a competent, like good.
Yeah,
because they've had good matches before.
Even if it's not good, just like
bad.
Give me something that's like not offensive that we can.
Yeah,
kinda...
yeah. No, I agree. I think that I would be happy
that
with
one.
that.
Kowal asks, what y'all gonna be drinking when you sit through Gabe versus Shota? So I thought about this match a lot, and I really hope they do the Death Rider reversal dance spot. I think if they
Death Rider, no,
both
Death Rider,
reversal
no.
dance Death Rider and like Shota gets it and wins, cinema. 5 stars from me. Probably bad, but 5 stars from me, man.
I don't know if I'll watch this actually, because if I probably won't.
If a Death Rider is done, I'll watch it. But if it isn't, I'm not.
I'm trying to figure out like if this is a main event match, I'm not watching it because I'm not watching like 12 plus minutes of this. But if it's like 8 minutes, like I'll probably watch it just to fucking see. You know
no,
I mean?
They're not a main event.
Or like but yeah, we'll see what it is.
Shota's 2 main events are Takeshita and Zach.
Oh, I have a feeling this is their 4. They're like later into it. I probably won't watch it if I'm being real. I probably won't watch it.
Sure. I mean, you can always
like I said, I'm willing to give Shota a shot this tournament. It's not going to be against Gabe.
Sure. He's a madman, you know.
I've heard.
Okay. I didn't know if you did. It's news.
Fucking hate that, dude. That took off like points off of that fucking cage match when Ren Narita's bleeding.
I'm a madman.
I'm a madman, you know. I was like, dude,
Narita is dying, bleeding out. Why are you taunt spamming?
Oh my god, that annoyed me so much because I was like, you know what? Shout out Ren. He's really trying to put over his boy.
Bro, at that rate, Ren Narita should have just won. He's like, bro, he's taunt spamming.
Like, get the fuck out of
here. Okay. Harkin asked, rank the young guys in order of who you think will have the best overall tournament match quality wise. Suji, Uemura, Oleg, Oiwa, Ren, Gabe, LOL, Shota, LOL, Callum, LOL, and y'all can add Drilla Deloney if y'all want to. He said that, not me.
His name.
I won't add Drilla Deloney even though he's 28. I just would prefer not to. I'm okay with keeping Callum and Gabe in the rotation.
Yep.
Because I mean, there's a chance they do have a good match or two in this, so I'm okay with keeping them in the rotation. That's kind of tough, you know. Guess we really have to analyze the blocks and who works the best with the other
I
people.
think I think I can go.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would say Yuya at 1.
Okay, that's fine.
Um, I'll say Bolton at 2. I think he has
That's not bad.
a more very interesting
Mm-hmm.
tournament here. I'd go Oiwa at 3, Suji at 4. Problem with Suji is he's going all the way, so his set like his playoff stage matches will probably be great.
But
Like they were
everything in
last year.
between just won't.
Yeah, like the block
Yeah,
matches, I'm not expecting him to be the best of them. But you know, like if we're counting like the final will probably be great because he's usually kind of good at
finals.
the late. Yeah,
Yeah.
like but yeah, I would say him at the 4 roughly. 5 I would go Shota
Okay.
because like I said, I'm hoping for the best here. Close 6, but like kind of like tied with Shota is Callum because
Mm-hmm.
like he should do fine. Like I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's look at the roster here. Um, and then is 7 just Gabe? Is that who I have left?
Gabe
Or I
and
could
Ren.
oh fuck! I forgot Ren. No, Ren will be at 5 with Shota, and then Callum's 7, and then Gabe is 8.
Okay.
Yeah, I have Shota and Ren at a similar spot right now where I'm
Yeah.
like, let's see. I like Ren and I'm giving him more of the
It's
benefit of
just
the doubt,
that his
obviously.
block doesn't
Yeah,
sell, and that's an issue.
I don't see like he's going to have problems. Shota shouldn't have as many problems because like these matches
He
should be
doesn't have a
fine.
style. He just hits hard or
Exactly.
kind of
He doesn't
hard.
really have a
Like
style at all. So like
Rin
he's
Narita's
gonna be
style requires good sellers, and none of them are in beat blocks. So
yeah. So I would say they're kind of like even, but
yeah, no, that's
uh
fair.
the
Um,
whites are after that.
yeah.
Outside Bolton.
I'm gonna go Bolton at 1,
Mm.
because I think he's just the most complete right now. Uemura can probably work longer matches, and obviously I love Uemura, but I think Oleg, if I want somebody out of this new generation right now as a complete package, I probably want Bolton the most. So I'll go Bolton at 1. I'm gonna go Yu at 2. I'm gonna go Oiwa at 3. I'm gonna go Suji at 4. I'm gonna go Ren at 5. Shota at 6. Callum at 7, and then Gabe at last is what
Very similar lists.
Yeah. Because I'm trying to take into account like the rest of the block and if they'll do well against the rest of the block. I think Callum just has the benefit over Gabe of him having the way better block.
Like better matches, yeah. Like
he's got
matches.
way more to work with. So like
even if he's like a fucking what's the word? Like if he's a mop, they could still probably get a decent tournament out of him.
for sure. Now we get into the 2 questions from Alex. The first being, what are the most likely tournament upsets that set up title challengers for the end of the year for each of the titles? So world, global, TV, I guess.
Tags, because
never.
Taichi's in it.
I am 100% positive that it's just going
Sonata
to be
and Chase.
Yeah. That's.
I would love to see Oiwa and Hartley, like I said earlier.
Oh please, dude. Please.
That'd be cool. But I would agree. All of the belts are down there.
Yeah.
Except for the Never for Bolton.
Yeah. I mean, I can work with that.
Oiwa's Bolton.
Yeah, Oiwa's Bolton. Maybe Callum as well. I could see
that's
them.
fine. I could see that. That's fine. Yeah, Callum getting the world title shot was really like sabotage for him because he'd probably do fine. Like he's a fine never loser.
This is what
right
I
now.
think happens. I think Taichi drops both to House of Torture, but Sonata and Chase obviously lose. But I think Ren and Eve will take it at the Dome. The tag belts, that is. Gotcha. So I think he drops both of those there. It's funny. I was looking at this like, God, Finley really just does not have anything going.
No,
that's
you can't even beat Goto. Like you can't even beat Goto and like get another title shot.
Yeah, no, like it's sad. I mean, maybe Finley and Bolton do something. I don't know. So. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to find something for Finley because I like him. TV title, I can see Yoshihashi and Drillo.
Yeah, I think Drill is the definite because they
Yeah.
like him more, unfortunately. Um,
Actually, no, I take that back. I think Shota and Drilla as far as the TV title goes.
mm,
Um,
you don't think Shota gets over Zach?
no, I think Yoshihashi actually sneaks one over Zach and tries to avenge Goto toward the end of the year, but just loses.
That would be
Um,
cool.
yeah. Just because I don't think they want to do another Shingo match or any of these people challenging Zach. Um, I think Rin obviously beats Gabe, but I don't think he challenges for the global title. Like I said, I
I
think him and Evil go for the tags.
I do think Ren gets a title match out of this, though. I think he either beats Zach or beats Gabe and challenges
And
at a
beats him.
destruction.
Yeah, you
I
could.
mean, I would love to see him beat him, but I think he
Um,
challenges one of them at like a destruction.
Probably Gabe. Probably Gabe.
Gabe's
Because
more likely,
Gabe
yeah.
took the singles and he took the cage. Marita's due for a win.
Takesha's beating Zach, though, and challenging at
No,
Forbidden
I think Takesha also is beating Gabe, but Takesha is actually the one who's taking the title.
Door. Oh, no, I think Takesha's like an easy
Zach
uh,
challenge.
Zach challenge for like Forbidden Door
That's
or
fine.
for any time, pretty much,
That's
because Zach
fine.
doesn't do anything.
I could see your outlook on Shota beating Zach, but I think that does more damage to him.
Yes, you are correct.
Yeah,
That's the thing. I would love like a Shota never challenge. They're in the wrong block. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
the wrong block. But like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
would
yeah.
be that would
Yeah.
work. Like why we underutilize the never? Just let everybody challenge for the fucking never
Yeah.
and just like try.
But yeah, my dark horse is Yoshihashi just gets a sneak win on Zach and tries to avenge Goto, but fails. Especially if Zach's going to be a more egotistical character, like
Yeah.
he's been teasing. Which I don't know why he would do a promo and say, "I am going to be more of an antagonist.
I'm going to be the
how
evil
about,
one.
Yeah, how about you don't say that and just do it? I thought that was pretty simple, but I don't know. Maybe Shingo gets a win over Gabe or something. Like I feel like Shingo's due for a title match. Even though he just challenged for the world, I think since they're doing this unit, he's due for some sort of title match. Maybe he beats Phantasmo, challenges for the TV. I think a Shingo TV run would be fun because he doesn't.
No, actually, you're right.
He doesn't have enough time to do the annoying Shingoisms that like come from him and Hanari matches, for example. He can just like do 15 minutes of just high quality stuff. It's funny. Like I said, the TV title has a lot of good purposes, and they are using it for all the wrong reasons. So
Yeah. No, I
it's
agree.
fascinating. I'd be.
But yeah,
I think Great Okan getting one over Zach would be kind of fun. But yeah, I don't have high hopes for that.
I think Shingo over Phantasmo is a good one, a good show.
Okay. Yeah. I think there's a lot they can do with this because the thing is with B Block is all the titles are there. So like literally this entire block could end up with title matches.
Yeah.
As we're A Block, you have the never in the tags, but realistically that only has like only a few paths. Like everybody else feels like they're not, I don't want to say above it, but they're not suited to challenge for those belts.
Sonata challenging Bolton Oleg. Let's go, baby. It's time.
I'd be moved. So I mean, hey.
I was campaigning for Sonata never belt 10 years ago. Not
me too.
Like
you know who was IWGP US champion?
That's crazy. It's true.
Yeah.
That belt was crazy. Kenta was the best champion. Never even held it for longer than like a day.
Yeah, I know.
He held the fucking briefcase, and he was like, "But it was the best shit ever."
It was pretty sick.
The pandemic.
It was a beautiful belt too, man. It sucks that David Finlay had an issue with it, but I'm actually, yeah, I was about to say that, but I would be moved by Evil Bolton Oleg title match, but I digress.
Fair.
Alex's other question, not G1 related, but would you put Wolf in the same match as Tanahashi at the Dome to maximize his exposure, or should it be a celebration of Tana instead? Celebration of Tana because they got the TV spot because Wolf signed, and that's going to be his debut. So they don't really need to double down and put him in the Tanahashi match. My pitch to Ash was having him debut versus Bolton Oleg at the Dome because they have similar backgrounds, and I think obviously he's going to lose his debut. But they can do a similar thing that Noah does or did with Oka Sasaki, where he comes in, he wins like the TV title or something, holds it for just a very brief amount of time, then drops it. Kind of hot shot him at first, and then
TV title is actually perfect because you put those on YouTube.
Yeah,
They put them on YouTube. They put them on everything.
So like give him a title, holds it for a little bit, and then you take it away from him, and then you slowly bring him in, and he'll be ready by the time G1 rolls around. That was kind of our pitch. Like, he was like, "Oh, they should hot shot him like Olka did." I was like, "Oh, that's a good idea. They can do this," and that was my pitch for him to debut versus Bolton. I don't really think he needs to be facing Tanahashi because you already are on the TV station because of Aaron Wolf. So you can just kind of ball out and just try your best to showcase your entire young generation, because this is going to be the most watched Wrestle Kingdom in a very long time. So try to showcase your young generation as much as possible.
I think it's too risky, frankly, because I think Tana's
what if it
retirement. Exactly. Tana's retirement's too important, and also it's too his debut is too important. Like,
it's too important because he's not going to be able to hide Tanahashi's weaknesses at this stage.
Exactly. So it's like Tana needs a good opponent who can make him look good, and Wolf also needs a good match that can make him look good. Like, I don't think you could accomplish both easily. They could try, but like I don't think it's a good idea. I would put him somewhere else. I would not put him in a Tana match.
Like I said, this is going to be the most important Wrestle Kingdom of all time because it's on the big TV station. They have to get all this, like the young talent we just talked about that haven't gotten anything. They have to be in featured bouts on this show somehow. It has to be. I understand you have foreigners. I understand you have vets, but that has to be priority number one, is to get this entire young generation in a big spot, because you're going to be on this TV station. You need to, showcase all of them to the rest of the world or the rest of Japan on the big stage as much as possible. Like I said, for Tana, I definitely think we're due for a Yuya rubber match at the Dome, which I'm okay with, but I don't necessarily like. I would prefer. I would obviously, what I prefer. Shouts out my guy, the King of Strong Style. If I wanted Big Knock to pull up, that's what I wanted. But I mean, he's probably not free.
I mean, I wonder if they could also do a tag, which I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm okay with a tag too.
I would like a tag that involves Yuya, Knock, and Tanahashi. That'd be ideal.
Yeah.
And Shibata, but I know that also not how that works. I don't know.
I Shibata, kind of. He was at one point.
Dude, give me Shibata and Ren versus Tana and Yuya. Why
the
not?
Real Narita and Shibata, the real Black Saints of New Japan.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I think that'd be cool, because like you can. But the problem is, like, that's like a destruction.
That's a pipe dream that we're just doing.
Yeah, that's like do that, but like they won't, but like they should.
Yeah. I want Knock to pull up for like a tag or something, or just to face Tanahashi, because like Nakamura said for the longest time that his retirement match would be versus Tanahashi, but I don't think he foresaw Tanahashi retiring before him.
I do hope Knock can get out for it, but I don't think he'll be able to.
I think he's going to try his hardest.
Yeah.
I think he's absolutely going to try his hardest. If he doesn't do it for the Dome, he's going to do it like in the lead up to the Dome. I 100% believe it's going to happen somehow. But like I said, I think we're due for a Yuya rubber, but I don't know. I'm kind of in the camp of, also because I wanted Takeshita to beat Gabe and then just do Yuya Takeshita at the Dome, just because I love their G1 match so much.
That'd be great.
This is kind of what I would do. But hey, that's
just have Takeshita beat Gabe at Forbidden Door. Shit, let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Gabe can challenge for the TNT title at the Dome. It'll be fine. With that being said, like I said, I think that's one of the fun parts about this year of New Japan, because while they shot themselves in the foot repeatedly, they have the biggest show in their company's recent history coming up on January 4th, and nothing is really set in stone. So they have like a clean slate to kind of figure things out, and that's kind of the fun part about this. But before we get out of here, why don't you go ahead and tell me what you think the finals will be, and give me your G1 winner.
What I think they should be is Yoda over Takeshita. But what I think is possible also is Yoda over Shota Umino. I think those are the two options here. Like, I think those are the true.
I'm not mad at that, because I think that could be a funny match. Just saying.
I also just think that, like, I think Shota going to another tournament final would be kind of funny, if I'm being honest. And
I think it would get so mad, I would just laugh. I'll be honest.
Yeah. We'll see. Maybe he turns heel during the tournament. Like I said, maybe he joins United Empire. on the last day of block action. Then he definitely is going to the final and losing to Yoda.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I think those are the two options. It's not very inspired, but it feels like the obvious option.
Also, I just want to mention before I say mine, Zach pitched defending the IWGP World Title in Noah for the 25th anniversary, and I just want to say I would crown Noah the Company of the Year if they booked an IWGP World Championship match to semi-main under either the GHC Heavy or the GHC Junior. I would crown them the
That would be really
undisputed
funny.
Company of the Year by far.
I don't think I think that wouldn't be. I
Oh
think
no, it would not happen. But if they somehow managed it, once again, greatest company in the world. Um, for me, so you said Suji over Takeshita is what they should do, and then you think Suji over Shota is what they'll do.
it's another option. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So what I think is Yoda over Takeshita, and that's the thing is, while I'm not a fan of Yoda Suji at all, like I said, I don't think he's a good singles wrestler. I think he's the one that like has to win it because he's the one who's most made. And that's really real lies in like for New Japan's safety, like he has to win and win the title because he's the most made man out of the young guys, and you have to strap up a young guy. It's him. Worry about the other stuff later.
If we're talking about like the ideal match for a Zach World Champion, I would put Yuya.
For sure. Well, no, obviously, but as far as for how things stand,
Yeah.
Yoda's the one who's most made.
Oh,
He's
definitely.
got the most fans. He's the person they should strap up, even like if I don't like his singles necessarily. So I'm not arguing that like at all. I think he's definitely the person to go with. So I think Yoda over Takeshita. What should happen? Sonata over Yoshihashi. Thank you, Dylan. You got any plugs?
Yeah, go check me out on Twitter or X, the everything app, if you want to call it that. At XX Ichiban, because I'm number 21 on the mic, number 1 in your heart. Check me out every Wednesday on Stardom Quest Gold, weekly Stardom and Marigold podcast. And check out writedoingright.substack.com. I was going to write something, but it looks like I won't have Wi-Fi for a bit, so I might not write something. I might not be able to research much. So we will see how that goes. For my 10th anniversary of writing about pro wrestling, I've been doing this a long time. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Get at me. Xavier, take it home.
I couldn't say it better myself. As always, follow this YouTube channel that you're watching this on. You can catch all episodes of the No Limit Wrestling Show. We typically do a format of where we have a guest on, we watch a show, we talk about said show, and we have a good time here. This is our first time doing a preview in this format. It went 2 hours. Hopefully, everybody enjoyed. It is very different from other G1 previews that you might watch because it's just kind of the basis of our show, which is just two friends having a conversation, not really previewing things logically for the most part. So if you made it this far, thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed. If you hated it, well, so.
Cry me a river.
Yeah. Shouts out Scapegoat. House Torture's very own. As you can see down there on my screen, that has my @ to my Twitter. You can follow me there. That's where you'll find all my stuff. I'm also on Blue Sky at the same thing. Just at Blue Sky. I forgot the handle situation, but it's just that. Keep an eye out for the Starters First podcast. You can find that on Apple, Spotify, or wherever. Next week, I'll be recording the monthly Gonpo Roundup, and then me and Beth will be recording whenever there's shows happening again. We had to cancel our last episode because both of us had stuff going on. And funnily enough, as we got better, we realized there's no shows going on. So we'll eventually record again once them start having shows. I think they're all at the end of the month is the issue. And also keep an eye out to my Substack. I already have a planned writing series as far as for the N1, but also after N1, I would assume not on my Substack, but on 60 Minute Draw, I'll be writing about Takashi Sakura's GSC national title run, the inaugural one, so be on the lookout for that. But that's all I have for now. Is there anything else you need to say to anybody, Dylan?
Tell your mom. Tell your dad. Tell your sister. Tell your brother. tell your uncle, tell your auntie, tell your friend, tell your friend's sister that you kind of had a crush on when you were younger. Tell everybody that you fucking know that the No Limit Wrestling Show is the best thing in the biz. Arrivederci. Matane.
Matane.